Here in the city of Doors, Dame's troubles tend to go unheard. The factions keep their own law, and the average Joe, well, we're stuck carving out our own order. But Sigil isn't without help. When you've got a problem with no solution, a puzzle with no key, there's only one joint in town to turn to. They might not be the most professional outfit around, but they always solve the case. Because when you're desperate enough to turn to these idiots, you'll find your conundrum might just be open and shut.
Hello, and welcome to our little mystery-solving D&D campaign, folks. My name is Austin, and as always, I am joined by my cagers making jink by hitting the blinds. Say hello, everyone.
Howdy.
The no alliteration is throwing me this season.
It's all planar can't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's easier and harder in that I don't need to think of it. There's a list, and also there's limited words. So I feel like we're gonna start scraping the bottom of the barrel at some point.
Better ration
but not
those
today.
words out.
Today we have nothing but the choicest scoop from the barrel for you folks. But before we get into today's adventure, Sophia, please give us the wonderful news.
Perfect pins possible to procure post-haste? Indeed.
Yes.
I'm taking the alliterations now. We have pins. This is a big announcement. I'm still workshopping the bit that we're going to be doing at the beginning of the podcast when we have like sponsors and pins and stuff. But for now, I'm just going to give you the information. We have pins. We're so excited to be partnering with CrowdMade to do a limited run of enamel pins of our very weirdest little dude plug. You can pre-order right now a gorgeous enamel pin designed by our very own Wally. Have a little dude all of your own to hang out with. He's little head bobbles. It's incredibly cute. See visualization on screen now if you're on YouTube. I'm so excited that we have this little guy available for you guys to pre-order. I cannot wait to have plugs all over my apartment. He goes on bags, on corkboards, on anything that you want. You can show him off. You can be like, he's just for me. It's up to you. Go to the link in our description right now to head to the campaign on CrowdMade and pre-order. This pre-order will be live for 2 weeks. As of this date, it's been live for a week or so. I'm really nailing this copy. I recorded another podcast before this. But once the pre-order has closed, the pins will go into production and ship out. They should be to you by the end of the summer. So if you want a plug of your very own, check out the link in the show notes, pre-order a little dude, and enjoy that preposterous pin parade. Haha. I'm improvising.
Well
There
we go.
You're improv, which
MPs.
is spelled like improving, but is definitely not.
I like to think what I'm doing is worth it.
The greatest
All right,
artists are always misunderstood in their time.
I'm misunderstood in my time, Austin.
Behind us. It's not so easy, is it? With that definitively behind us.
Definitively is a strong word for what's...
I'm gonna die. I'm out.
The goal is
Today's
to be
mystery, the
as...
murder of the DM.
There's a lot of weird energy going on.
We just want to be as antagonistic to Austin as possible. I don't think that that's a crazy thing to decide to do.
No, you guys are third level. I will kill you so easy. You don't even fucking know.
Hey, teacher, I've been very good in class today, I think.
I've been bad and I'm not
gonna
sorry
give a group
about
punishment that has been proven to be very ineffective.
No, that's against the Geneva Conventions.
You can't do that.
Drag
Come
me to
on,
the
Burks.
Hague.
Let's face the music till we land in the dead book. Or else we land... Yeah?
Somebody look up a list of
Noir.
cans while we were there.
When last we left our heroes. When last we left our heroes, you were introduced to the 4 members of Open and Shut Investigations, City of Doors Detectives. The wonderful, well, perhaps we'll have everyone introduce their names again, but we got to see them on, not their first mission together, but our first outing, where they, helped. It's been 1 week, but that's been 2 years in Austin.
Stuck in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Where we got followed up on some stolen items and came across a plot with a lot more layers and sinister undertones than they could have expected. In the end, though, things were returned that were once stolen, souls that were once owned were freed, and you guys walked away with a pretty coin in your pocket. We pick up unambiguously short amount of time later, somewhere in the order of a week, you continue to frequent your regular places in Sigil. You continue to show up to the office, but it has been rather quiet as of late. It's not uncommon for you to go through some dry spells, as it were, when waiting for clients. Today is a day just like those. We begin in the Hive ward. It's just like last time, that kind of before peak hour where it's the lights are starting to come on, the cranium rats are starting to go back to their holes, the night market is closed. Rats? Grab that one, quick.
We're not doing this again. We are not doing the whole rats
So that
thing
one
again.
shot of Ratatouille where like they turn on the lights, just like carpeted in
Yeah,
rats.
exactly. That's more or less what the Hive ward is like.
Cranium rat could be
Anyway.
a client. We don't know.
We find
My
ourselves...
backup character is a cranium rat who just wants to be a cook.
Swarm of cranium rats would be a badass
That's what
PC.
you get if you kill
Well, we
Bileyg.
already have the College of Feast subclass. I feel like we're asking for a cranium rat
We're right there.
situation.
Oh,
Oh,
true.
man.
Oops, all
focus.
bards.
The Searing
also
Tongue
all
campaign
rats.
where one of you is a bunch of cranium rats.
Yeah.
We join one of our heroes, Bileyg,
Howdy.
played by Red, our little halfling paladin, as you make your regular commute from the Hive to across the ditch into the lower ward. You're currently walking through a district known as Goatswood, along a street that brings you to the bridge that you need to take in order to cross into the lower ward over the ditch being the only source of water that is ever present in Sigil. It's the only one that fills up by itself. Where it fills up from, no one is quite certain, and if you could even call it water anymore, is up for spirited debate by most of the citizens of Sigil. It is rancid, putrid, disgusting, and as you make the smell just kind of wafting into your face as you head that way, Bileyg. As you do, you're walking down a street that's called Depression, and there's kind of this big, like, high-rise wall casting these, arched shadows down on you, so you're stepping from shadow to light, as you walk by this almost like aqueduct kind of looking structure.
Nice place.
It's at this time, early in the day, heading off to your place of work, that you see some of the early morning people who are like starting their day. The few people who are starting their day rather than ending it right now are kind of giving birth to a woman. You see there is a
Like a wide
Roll that
berth
back?
as opposed to...
Okay. They are
Yeah.
avoiding a woman.
a birth. Yeah.
Great.
They're giving a wide berth to a Durgar woman, so this kind of like gray-skinned dwarf. She's got white hair, which is basically all Durgar have white hair, but you can see from the wrinkles that she's clearly on the older side for a dwarf, which is saying something. She has a bundle of papers, and she is trying to hand them out to people who are just kind of like avoiding her, like she's handing out a flyer, but they're avoiding her like she's got the plague. Just don't want to be involved. And you can hear her just saying like, please take a look if you could. Please, just if you've seen his face, let me know. Please, just take a look. And everyone she kind of goes up to at this point is just kind of like walking faster, pretending they have earbuds in, kind of situation.
Yeah, I'll divert from my route and approach the woman.
Okay. Yeah, you walk up, you see that she is exactly what you'd expect. She probably lives around here-ish somewhere. You can tell just because she's got that, like, classic grime on her boots and stuff like that. She's clearly not an out-of-neighborhood, not out of order. Someone from the clerk's ward who's wandered in here. She sees you approaching and not even really anticipating that you might want to help, just sees someone who's not avoiding her and immediately hands out a flyer to you. And she says, please, sir, if you could take a look. Have you seen this person, my grandson?
Oh,
And hands to you.
let me take a
paper.
look. I'll inspect the paper.
Yeah, you take a look, and it's a kind of crudely drawn, but it's a Durgar man, so her grandson is a full adult.
Right.
And it says underneath it, Orin, Orrin, and underneath that, in big letters, missing, and then it has a last seen, and it lists now 2 days ago.
Okay, that is interesting. Yeah,
Do
I'll
you recognize him? He comes by this way every day.
I guess if this is a route I walk, have I ever seen this guy before?
Sigil is a big city, but let's go ahead and put it at a difficult perception check. So go ahead and roll me a DC 20 perception check to see if you recognize this face from...
Let's see
You
if
pass
I
a lot
get...
of faces every day, you know?
I sure do. Let's see if I roll that 19. No, I roll a 13. Still not bad,
Fair enough.
but yeah, I haven't seen
Fair
this guy.
enough. Yeah, I mean, you don't recognize him specifically, but nothing weird about that.
Ooh, I'm terribly sorry, ma'am. You know, it's a big city. I don't think I've seen him as such, but I can definitely keep an eye out. You know, this is my neighborhood as well, so...
Oh, yes, please. Just show it to whoever you can, and post it. And there's an address here if you know anything. And she just kind of points out to me. It's a pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Like stereotypical missing poster, right? So,
right, yeah. Like if
so it's got any information you
news
might need
report
to
here.
follow
Yeah.
up, and it is an address in the lower ward. So she hands it to you, and if you take it, she just starts thanking you.
Yeah.
And says, oh, "Thank you. Yes, show it to anyone else you know who's from around here, and post it too. Post it somewhere if you can."
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. If you don't mind me asking, ma'am, you know, Sigil's a big city, and your grandson does look like a grown dwarf. Do you have any reason to believe that something might be amiss?
Well, he always comes home. He would never not come home. He would never not tell me if he wasn't going to come home.
I see. Do you know his place of work? I could potentially look around in that neighborhood if he's somewhere else than here.
Oh yes, he it's the Hall of Records in. And actually, she wouldn't even say it. She would assume you know, which you would. It's
right.
Even just having been here for a little bit. It's one of the main buildings. The Hall of Records is in the clerk's ward, which is the opposite direction from where you're coming from. So
Okay.
you take it to me. When she says he walks by here every day, you're like, oh, he must walk. If he's going to work, he must walk that way.
All right. Well, thank you very much, ma'am. I'll keep an eye out, and good luck. Take care of yourself today, all right? Stay hydrated. I know it's easy to lose track of that things when you're worried about your kids and grandkids.
Oh, you're sweet to care for me, young man. She gives you a little pat. He's like middle-aged, right?
Well, he's like, the thing is, halflings live like 150 years, and Bileyg is under 50, but not by much. So, like, he hasn't been called a young man in a while, but it's not, like, strictly inaccurate, especially from a dwarf's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she says, you're sweet to care for me, young man. Just ask who you can, spread it. And if you do go to the Hall of Records, good luck. I tried to speak to them yesterday, and they were, they didn't give me much help other than to say that he hadn't come in. I'm so rude. I'm Eula, by the way.
Oh, lovely to meet you. My friends call me Bileyg.
It's lovely to meet you, Bileyg. Thank you for your help. Good luck.
I will politely take my leave and proceed to my place of work.
Fantastic. Let's cut over to that place of work. Everyone else has already arrived. What does a stereotypical morning look like for you guys as you are all kind of sitting about? I think we talked about this a little bit in episode 0, but what do you do when there is nothing to do? Session 0, I should say.
Ingrid would be boots up on the desk, reading or doing a crossword puzzle. She likes to do little, tasks to keep the mind sharp.
All right, fantastic.
Oobtaglor is probably in one of the corners playing on their lute. They try to be as formless as possible, like as often as possible, and so there isn't like a humanoid plasmoid in the corner, but more just kind of this formless blob with only just enough appendages sticking out in order to play the lute. Yeah.
What's it
Hell
called when an animal's more active during like the morning and late evening?
Is it diurnal?
That would be
No,
crepuscular.
diurnal is during the day.
Okay.
Crepuscular is dawn and dusk.
Okay. Yes. So lapin is crepuscular. So if it's very
I
early,
teach environmental science and I went to school for ecology.
I'm so happy.
And now we're on a Dungeons and
If
Dragons
it-
podcast.
Go on.
File this episode under educational on YouTube.
so if it's I guess if it's very early in the morning, he would have just he'd still be waking up a little bit. He had been what time a day is it? I guess it depends how early in the morning.
We'd call it 9 a.m. They would call it 3 BP, so 3 before
Okay.
peak.
Yeah, so he would have been up for a little bit at this point. So this is probably the first time where he's like not doing anything and he's just chilling in the corner, recovering because he's gonna be up for another like maybe 3-4 hours before he goes to sleep again. So
To just sleep in the middle of the day. You do keep
Yeah.
weird hours. How do the other characters feel about the strange coming and goings and hours kept from Evrard? Because, like, as stated, do you guys know he doesn't have a home? I guess I should ask Wally. Do they know that Evrard Lapin doesn't have a home, or...
kind of, yeah. He does spend a little too much time in the office. Yeah, he hasn't explicitly said he doesn't have a home, but he does spend a little too much time he's in his little corner with newspapers and carrots. That's starting
You
to
do
look a little
work with
more like a
detectives,
hovel.
too, so.
Yeah, I will say
Yeah.
if you've let Bileyg know, he will have offered you room in his tiny little studio apartment that definitely does not have room.
Yeah. I think Ingrid worked a lot of, like, she just flashes back to her early career of sleeping in whatever, like, inner tavern she had played in that day and, like, moving around a lot and, like, keeping those weird hours because you just perform whenever the most people are going to be coming in to see the show. So, like, I don't think it strikes her as particularly odd that anyone would be keeping strange hours. She just registers it as, like, it's a quirk of the job. But also she is not offering her place of residence to anyone unless they're in the most dire state of need because she's lived a long life and she deserves her privacy. If you asked her about it,
She's
that's what
past
she
the
would tell
roommate time.
you. Yeah.
She's not couch surfing. She's got all her pictures in frames. She's
You
at
know,
that
I
stage of
stay
her
at a
life.
hotel when I travel now because, like, I just can't do the Airbnb thing anymore. It's so exhausting.
You can't
Ether B&B,
introduce
the
like,
D&D version.
Air D&D.
You can't
Airbnb.
introduce
You know.
something that exists in this real
I would
world.
like to see on the timer who got to that one first because there's a slight delay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
I've been
impossible
feeling
for me
that.
to see who got to that first.
We could do Astro B&B.
Ask him,
I just-
what were you saying, Noir?
Never mind.
I was being
if Lapin were to
chastised for
ask-
introducing real world things.
Yeah.
Before that, though, I wanted to know what Noir was going to say
Okay.
about Evrard's situation.
If Lapin were to ask for a place, then I think Oobtaglor would be more than accommodating. But even if Oobtaglor knew that he was living in the detective office, I think they'd just be like, well, if that's what they want to do, then who am I to judge? But if they really don't want to do it, then they should go out. They should say something about it.
I think
Oobtaglor
it's
trusts
fairly
Lapin to-
typical. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fairly typical for plasmoids to kind of be to be like that. Be like, well, I trust they know best. You know, like the way that they reproduce and things like that kind of lends itself to a different social structure than most of the other sapient species. So I think that makes a lot of sense for Oobtaglor to feel that way.
Bileyg does not think it is at all weird to take a big old luxurious nap in the middle of the day. Bileyg's relatives back in Venya, the third layer of Mount Celestia, routinely will just be like, whoa, that was a tough morning. All right, time for a big old siesta. And then they wake up at 3 p.m. for tea. And then, 5 p.m. is second tea. Then
There's something about being a halfling specifically in like one of the chillest worlds that exists.
Yeah, literally
that
halfling
lends itself
heaven.
to that style of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And speaking of, it's about this time that you arrive, Bileyg. The bell rings. To each of you, how you react to the bell ringing, perhaps excitement or just expecting it to be Bileyg, but
Morning,
It
Bileyg.
is just your coworker arriving.
One giant ear goes straight up.
It's just Bileyg. Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Safe walk, I assume.
Oh yeah, you know, it's always a nice, lovely morning down in the Hive Wood. Listen, have any of you seen a missing dwarf man? I suppose missing wouldn't be. So there's a lady in distress I ran into on my walk up, and seems like her grandson works in the Hall of Records and hasn't been seen in a couple days, and she's a little bit concerned. So, you know, if we're really hurting for things to do today,
Ingrid will.
I at least would probably want to run this one down.
Ingrid will smack her book closed. Well, it certainly does sound like a case for a group of private detectives. Did you give her?
Oh, I don't know. You all look real comfortable. I don't want to, you know, there's no trouble at all, really. I could. It might not even be
Did you give
anything.
her our business card?
Oh.
Yes, is this an official commission or just...
Pat's pockets. You know, it's the darndest thing. Forgot them in my other pants. I'm sorry, Ingrid, you know, And the real troubling part is I also washed those pants, so they're probably in the...
Well,
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
we got 500 of them. Go ahead and grab some.
Oh, yes, thank you very much.
But
Climbs on a little step stool, pulls them off of the shelf.
did you at least direct her to our office?
Oh, I didn't want to put her out of her way, you know, she's had a trying couple of days. But she gave me her address to go back to if we need to, so if you want to give her the spiel later, we'll be able to find her.
Did you get a picture of the Durgar
Oh.
for the rest of us to see?
Certainly, yeah. I mean, it's hand drawn, but it's a pretty good likeness. I assume. I had not being able to compare it to the guy in question. I sort of have to rely on her artistic. But I mean, who would know when her grandson looks better than her, right? I mean, I feel like we can trust the experts on this one. Just kind of like put it up on the desk.
Yeah, you put it up on the desk. I mean, yeah, so the information I've already shared is on there. Fair. There are no, like, distinguishing marks. You know, it's not like, oh, they're missing an eye. You know, has a pretty standard beard for a Durgar, right? There's... Actually, are the Durgar always beardless? I can't remember now. But, no, they have beards. Pretty
Their
standard
beards,
beard
they're
for
usually
Durgar.
bald. That's
Bald,
the thing.
that's it, yeah.
Yes.
Which is how this gentleman appears.
Well, I'd prefer if this was an actual case, but I don't know, we don't have anything else going on.
Perhaps we can use that as an opportunity to make it a case and further our reputation, as it were.
Ah, the network, yes.
Certainly. And I'm sure that there are many important people at the Hall of Records with whom we may be able to network.
I thought networking was that thing you did in the demon web pits. Is there some other meaning that hasn't translated correctly? Or, you know what? I'll figure it out on the way.
So,
All right. Well, it seems like you're committed to... Yeah, go on, Ingrid.
well, we have two possible destinations. We could go to his place of business, or we could go talk to his grandmother. Bileyg, do you have enough information that you feel we could go to the hall now, or should we go talk to our unofficial client?
Ooh, I wouldn't want to pester her right now so early in the morning. You know, I think that would be better to go to the Hall of Records. I mean, where else would we be able to find records of this guy's movements, right? Is that the kind of thing they keep track of?
Don't know that
I would
it's
assume.
those kind of records.
So no check needed, especially for Ingrid, who's lived here for a long time. The Hall of Records is a bureaucratic center where they keep... They don't literally track, like, where people walk around, but they do have vaults and vaults and vaults of information, of records, and that's largely, like, trade stuff that comes in and out of Sigil. So there's a lot of, like, registrations there for, like, there's a lot of property registrations there. There are financial registration. I keep saying registrations, but, like, you know, financial records for different people, that sort of thing. So it is very bureaucratic. It's very extensive, but it's not omniscient. It's, you know, it's not like they're not CIA spying on everyone.
Oh, they don't have
to your
always
knowledge.
on universal scrying technology throughout the entirety of Sigil. That's such a shame.
That's awful.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really not using Sigil to its panopticon potential. You know, it's even got the spire right in the middle and the bite
Yeah,
spire
spire
shape.
right in the
yeah,
middle.
yeah.
There's certainly something there. So, that being said, you did say you didn't want to bother her early in the morning. Fair enough, but you have also seen she's up and about. You
Yeah.
just talked to her this
But
morning.
I also,
so.
I already talked to her. I think, like, I didn't have any follow-up questions at the time.
And I assume
Yeah,
so.
I
Sounds like
being-
Hall of Records, then.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be my inclination.
Very well.
Very well.
All right.
Sorry, point of order. Did we actually get paid last session?
Yes, so go ahead and mark down a nice 40 gold pieces to each of you.
Okay, that's very
The
nice.
university paid well.
Okay, I forgot that we
is
had an
very
official,
nice.
like, hirer that was not just the orc lady. That's good. That has quintupled my amount of money.
Yes, indeed. Yes, a healthy sum. The university is pretty prestigious, so that may vary depending on your cases. But with that being said, it sounds like everyone wants to go to the Hall of Records.
Yes, I think that'd be best.
Are we?
Okay. Then we fast travel, zoom out of the lower ward, away from the little detective agency and the alley of dangerous angles.
It's good every
Cross
time.
through the hive ward, the many very pinched off narrow streets, the taverns that are still have rowdy drinkers in them even at this now early hour, and we make our way all the way to the Hall of Records district where the fabled Hall of Records sits. It was once a university, though no longer. A long time ago. Again, this is stuff that's really only relevant because Ingrid has been here for so freaking long. So, like, Ingrid, you would remember this. A long time ago, it went
Back
into debt,
in my day.
and it got sold off. It got sold off, and so now it's a bureaucratic center for keeping records. But it's a beautiful building. It almost looks like a big, like, tent. It has this very like it tapers as it goes up. It kind of curves in. It's concave into this like big tower, and there's kind of like these like blade ornaments that surround it, which is very common in Sigil. It's tribute to the Lady of Pain. There's kind of that design motif many places you go. It's got a nice little like grassy area that surrounds it, and these big steps that lead up to the main doors. In front of it, there are a set of guards. There's like 4 guards, like kind of each one standing between a set of doors. And as people are going up, they are basically either being recognized or showing credentials to get in.
They had a fabulous beer garden here one year. They had the whole circular area outside filled in with these little tables and things. Unfortunately, a lot of people got a little rowdy, so they had to shut it down. And I don't think they've done it again since.
Oh, well, that sounds very festive.
Yes, very.
You said that
Alright.
there are guards at the door.
There are guards at the door.
Oobtaglor is just gonna go and walks right in.
Oh, there goes Oopsie Baby.
You see the guard puts out. They have like halberds. As you go to walk in, a halberd comes in front of you, and
Gonna
this
T-1000
tiefling
your way
dude
through.
who's just wearing
No, I'll stop in front of the halberds.
this tiefling man. Who's, just got kind of chainmail on. It's not like super heavily armored or anything, but clearly guards. Looks at you and says, "Don't recognize you as an employee here. State your name and credentials."
Greetings, I am Oobtaglor Oobtaglor from Open and Shut Investigations. I wish to enter the Hall of Records in order to look up records of someone.
Do you have a referral?
If you'll allow me to catch up at this point with the missing poster.
Yeah, you're all close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want to see what happens.
Ingrid, I understand your appeal, but we do actually want to find this missing person at some point.
Sure,
and
and
you
we-
know how Oobtaglor gets when they have an audience.
They need to learn.
What do you mean precisely by referral?
Written permission from an authority to enter.
Written permission by an authority to enter. Oobtaglor makes a big gesture of checking their transparent body.
Manifest arms only to do the pat down animation.
A hole opens and they look through the middle.
Yeah, exactly. It seems as though I don't have any. However, it's very important. Do you happen to know a worker here by the name of Orin?
I will unfurl the poster as a photo reference.
We have been hired by his doting grandmother to find him, essentially. And I'm sure that the Hall of Records would be remiss if they did not want one of such a valuable employee back, of course.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, Oobtaglor.
Can I give him the help action? Can I give them the help action so they can roll at advantage?
I think I have a better.
Oh, mine's +5, but I think you might be better than me, actually.
Yeah, +8.
Damn.
Okay.
This is persuasion. Yeah, I can't help you.
This is
17
persuasion.
plus 8 is 25.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
You see, there's kind of like a little bit of a mental gymnastic that goes through this guy's head as he thinks about what exactly he should do here. And you get the feeling that, like, you know, this dude is pretty by the book, but you know, he's not a Modron, you know?
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of a heart, and so you bringing up specifically the circumstances of this missing person, also you can kind of tell by looking when he sees the poster, he does recognize this person, and he kind of gives a nod, and then he says, like a nod of recognition, and he says, "Don't know him personally, but I've seen him come through here before.
Ah.
I think I know where he works. I'll escort you, and you can make any inquiries you need, and then I will escort you back off the premises when your business is complete."
Ooh,
Much
And
appreciated.
he doesn't even give a, like, is that okay? He just says that matter of fact, like that's law. You see, he
Oobtaglor's okay
gives
with it.
another word and kind of a signal to one of the other guards who moves over to fill in his space, and he brings you guys inside.
Oh, this is so
Inside
refreshing.
is
As soon as they're able, now Oobtaglor will like T1000, T2000.
Lord. Yay.
the doors open and there's like a pole in the middle, and you just
Great.
go right through the door.
I've walked into the pole between two double doors before.
Wouldn't be a problem
My
if
envy
you
of
were to
Oobtaglor is immeasurable in this
Yeah.
moment.
Ingrid will like lean over to Bileyg, like, "See, you gotta let the guy try every once in a while. They're certainly bound to improve."
Oh no, I mean, yeah, they're a very talented kid, all right, that's for sure.
Lapin will sort of lag behind a little bit, and as he does a little spin around the pole before going through the doors.
Aw.
How incredibly whimsical and charming.
He'll lagamorph behind.
I get it, because that means rabbit shaped.
Yeah, we all get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Lagamorph is the
Yep.
family. I think it's Lagomorpha is the anyway.
Cool. Thanks
It's
for
part of
telling
the
the audience,
taxonomy of
Austin.
rabbits.
They
Anyway.
really,
Rabbit
I'm sure they
shape.
needed to know that information.
Yep. File this one under educational on YouTube, I'm telling
You
you.
guys enter. The room here is huge, which is not unexpected because it's the entryway to a pretty grand and prestigious building. But it is also huge with like huge doors and a huge front desk. You notice because this place is primarily staffed by giants.
I was gonna say.
There's like giants all over the place in here. So there's also plenty of, average-sized people walking around, but it's about 50-50, which even in Sigil is like, that's a lot of giants per capita. And yeah, so the whole place is just kind of filled with the thunderous footsteps of these giants walking around. There's a lot pushing carts that kind of like, wheel past you, these loud wheels that they go over the marble ground. Just papers stacked up with papers, little clips and flyer, like folders and even like sticky note, colorful bookmarks marking things off, and there's just this like huge movement of information going through this place. You are escorted back through one of the doors and down a set of stairs, so you're heading down into a basement level, just down this like giant, it's like really awkward actually to traverse. Now that you have to walk down like average sized stairs, it's really awkward to traverse. Giant sized stairs. It's really awkward to traverse them. You don't have to quite like climb, but it is kind of like a hop down each one.
Oh, it's gonna be the
never
coming
just,
back
like,
up that's not gonna be the fun
Oobtaglor's
part.
just
I tell
gonna
you.
If you think I'm back up, it's gonna be tough for Bileyg.
I'll make it. You just gotta give me time.
Oobtaglor just melts.
Yeah, I just spill down.
Slinkies on the way.
You are led to an office with a large door that is opened. You see that a lot of the doors have like a two knob situation. They're kind of like connected by this contraption. So there's a knob down at your light, and there's a knob further up at a giant height. The door is opened for you by this guard, and with some difficulty kind of pushed. And you walk into basically just this like smaller, again, it's giant size, but compared to everywhere else you've been, it's small. There's stacks of papers, like an inbox. It's like in just a huge stack of papers, and then just an empty outbox. And you see there are a handful of desks in here. Most of them are completely cluttered. One of them, two of them appear to be regularly used. One of them is currently empty, and the other is a giant-sized desk behind which you see sitting this stone giant woman. Her eyes like look up, and there's kind of this expectant, because she doesn't usually get visitors down here, you assume. So there's this kind of like surprise moment as she looks at you guys.
As we're going down, Oobtaglor would have wanted to know what the guard's name is, and they would have like just been conversing with them basically. Like, how long have you been working here?
Davian.
What do you enjoy about your job?
It's what?
No. I said, oh, it's Davian.
That'd be so funny. Our buddy from the last
That would be so funny. Oh my god. No,
Yeah.
he gives his name was Marcellus, and
New Davian.
Marcellus.
you rolled a pretty good persuasion check, so you can tell like this guy is really trying to be all business. You can tell he has an ethos of being all business, perhaps because of where he works or something like that, but is susceptible to just being like a normal human person or a normal tiefling person, and so like never really prompts you with questions, but will answer, and not just in the most clipped way possible. Like, we'll give you a satisfying answer, and then kind of like taper off into awkward silence for a minute before you strike it up again.
No. Oobtaglor is happy to just yap away.
This might be the most like warm you've ever seen anyone interact with Oobtaglor, honestly.
Oobtaglor treats all of their conversations as the warmest reception that they've received.
New
So,
best friend.
Fantastic.
How
but I mean,
Loud down here in the office.
is
yeah,
the echoing?
in the office.
How loud is the echoing? You said there's a lot of like carts.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
footsteps?
say.
Upstairs, it was really loud. Once you
Okay.
got into the stairwell, it was not so loud. There's fewer people going down into the basement levels.
Okay. Evrard would have had his hands like over his ears.
Yeah.
It's a lot of auditory simulation.
Flat down the back.
I'd
Yep.
like to find the like harmonizing
enough,
point
fair
of the hallway. Like Ingrid just going like, ah, just trying to get it to do that perfect echo
insufferable.
thing.
Oh, very loud
Just
morning
singing
for
loudly in
Evrard.
public.
Yeah, it's between that and Oobtaglor just like running his mouth. There's a lot of auditory simulation.
A lot of auditory stimulation is a good way to describe a party with 2 bards in it.
Yeah.
But when we get down to the office, Oobtaglor will just introduce themselves to
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Stone Giant. Greetings. I am Oobtaglor Bird. We are open and shut investigations. We're here investigating the disappearance of one Orin, who I'm told works here.
You see just this like very resonant voice kind of comes out at you and says, "Oh, Orin does work here. Sits right here, in fact." She leans over and pats the like child-sized desk that's next compared to her. It's not only is it for a humanoid, it's for a
It's
dwarf.
for a dwarf. I was gonna
So-
say,
Yeah.
how what are the accommodations like for, shorter statured humanoids? Like
Like I said, there's different handles at different heights on these doors.
Yeah, but, like, human
but in
height
general,
doors.
it's a building. Yeah, it's a building built for giants, staffed so much by humanoids that there are accommodations all over the place. But its primary function definitely screams towards giants. In any case, she says, "I didn't even realize he was missing. I thought that he was just out yesterday. Oh, Oobtaglor, it's nice to meet you. I'm Gaia." Extends a big hand down to you. It just kind of like
Oobtaglor
it's
will.
just like the size of your torso.
They'll Miss Marvel and Biggin.
yes, I was gonna say
Yes.
cartoonishly enormous hand.
Yeah.
You make cartoonishly enormous hand. She shakes it. And she says, "Investigations? Is it serious?"
Well, that's something
Oh,
we're still
well,
trying to
it's-
determine. They've been missing
Yeah,
for
it
some
might-
time.
It might be a little bit early to say, ma'am, but
I just saw him 2 days ago.
yeah, that lines up with what his grandmother has told us. He seems to have not come home that night, and has thus been missing for the
No.
last day or so.
He seemed okay at work that day. I just assumed that he was sick or something yesterday.
Is it normal for an employee to just not show up for work one day? This place seems so tightly run. I wasn't sure if would somebody like check?
you miss a day of work, you miss a day of pay, but, I mean, sometimes you can't get around it. I think if it was longer, they would probably check. There's someone who check, but, you know, I mean, like, there's no way for people to call in, you know? So.
Cast ascending.
No landlines.
Yeah, exactly. So for most people, you know, for most places of business, it's just kind of assumed that, like, you know, you show up, and if, you know, you're gone for a little bit, you come back with a decent reason. And if you don't come back within a certain amount of time, they just fire you, you know? It's not, you know, there's not, like, worker protection rights here, necessarily, you know?
Whoa.
Workers of the landscape, you know.
Yeah, right?
We got to get
Workers
around
of the
to that,
landscape,
yeah.
We always come back to it.
It's just a funnel of communication. You
More
know,
than
it's
a
just
hero.
it's a limiting factor of communication, you know? You can only talk so much across distance here.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah.
Gaia, if I could ask, could you tell us a little bit about your coworker? I assume you know each other rather well, being so close in proximity.
I guess so. He's a nice. He moved into the office 9 months ago. I think he worked on a lower floor before that. You guys are already in the basement.
Yeah.
I know he comes from a big family. He lives over in the lower ward. Gets his work done. Kind of has a habit of falling into daydreams, but very nice. Usually takes his lunch on a walk.
Would it be permissible for us to investigate his desk just a little bit? I understand if the paperwork is proprietary, but there's a possibility that there's something in there that might have piqued his interest to give us a clue to where he might have gone.
You see she kind of looks out at the, like, at Marcellus in the hallway, and then she says, like, if it helps you find him, take a look. Just don't take anything that, don't, you know, if it belongs here, don't take it.
Oh, certainly not, man.
Of course.
All right. I'll, like, climb up on the desk and start looking.
I would also like to investigate the
It's
desk.
actually pretty well sized for
It's pretty
Bileyg.
well sized for me. I think Ingrid has to lean down.
It's terrible, the knees. Oh, God. All my joints are creaking.
Oh, I'll tell you, those giant stairs were doing no favors on my knees either. It's like
All
a
right,
drop
so checks
every
from
time.
certain checks for some people.
Okay.
So it seems like Ingrid wants to investigate Bileyg. You also want to just do an investigation?
I'm not very good at investigation.
Fair enough. Is there? You can hold off, or if there's another check you'd like to make, let me know.
I'm gonna actually. Is there like anything else on the deck? Because you have like photos, like family photos, like trinkets. Something I could
there are
make
no
an
such thing
insight
as
check
photos.
for.
He does not have any
Okay,
photos.
never mind.
Trinkets.
Caricatures from the boardwalk.
One of those little
A mug that says like, "I'm extremely passionate about investigating dangerous things that might get me into trouble" or something like
those
that.
like perpetual motion machines where you can like tap them and then they do a little thing. Like one of those birds that sits on the edge of a glass and it goes and it flings back.
Yeah.
And it goes,
A little like embroidery that says, "I love making questionable deals with untrustworthy bad guys and potentially getting in trouble because of it."
like a
I don't know.
Newton's cradle, you know?
Yeah, one of those two things.
One of those
Yeah.
like desk zen
Why don't we start with the
gardens.
investigation from?
Yeah, that's probably
Let's
for
start
the
with the
best.
investigation from Ingrid.
I got an 18.
Woo!
An 18. All right. You start going through, and the majority of this is exactly what you would expect. It's like property holdings information, and most of it is just stuff that needs to basically be like notarized, like affirmed. There's other stuff that just needs to like be updated. Like there's certain things that just need to be like signed every couple like years, and so he's got like a stack of that needs to be followed up on, things like that. That's pretty mundane. And you like it's a small desk. You take it that this is largely a it's a very utilitarian space. Two things catch your eye. As you're going through, you find one, a piece of stone, kind of like chipped off black stone that is in one of the desk drawers. And the second thing is that as an expert investigator, you know that sometimes the best pieces of evidence are the things that people throw away.
Trash can.
You check the
Check the trash
the
can.
trash that
Trash.
is next to his desk. And among like some destroyed stuff, like torn up papers, things that have been purposely destroyed, you find because they're like records that they don't want to get into anyone else's hands. You do find one piece of paper that is just crumpled, that hasn't been shredded.
Ooh.
I'll unfurl it and straighten it out.
You see it's a flyer, and it reads. It's got the background is kind of like a sketch of like a human head, like in profile.
Okay.
Almost like a coin. And written over that, it says, "Why suffer? End your torment at the Weary Spirit Infirmary. Skilled healers provide services to all at no charge. Fully equipped, modern technique, respectful care. Free beds, free meal, free bath. Patients admitted daily, open all hours, no appointments necessary, some waiting."
I have never seen a more blatant organ harvesting scheme in my life.
Well,
What is the
this
place
is
called?
immediately suspicious. The
Weary Spirit Infirmary.
Okay.
Ooh.
Which, go ahead and roll a history check for you, for Ingrid, who has lived here.
Nothing more fun to me than being a local. That's a 15.
15? So you've definitely heard of this place. They're not chill, and everyone knows they're... If you're from Sigil,
Yeah.
you know they're not chill.
They are not chill. They are not chill at all.
They hand these out all over the place. Like, this is a thing that they just, wander around handing out, trying to get clueless, trying to get primes and stuff to come by in case they're sick. They are, alternative medicine,
Hacks.
Yes.
hacks, yeah. They are... There's 3 or 4... there are 3 or 4 bad, but still better hospitals in Sigil, before you even get to the good hospitals that are, on top of these guys.
Yes, I don't know anyone who lives in the city that would go here unless they were absolutely at the most desperate point in their entire life.
Well, that's not exactly promising.
No.
The other thing was a rock?
This
Found the little
black
rock?
stone.
Huh. Interesting.
So, yeah. So it is a piece of black stone, and there is a little bit of carving on it as you take a closer look.
Can I make a nature check?
Ooh.
Absolutely, you can make a nature check. In the meantime, I'll tell you what the carving is. It says OXOXO.
Oh, adorable.
And then underneath it says no peelers.
No
This
peelers?
feels like slang.
That's a slang for something. That has to be.
Yeah. Does anyone have does anyone speak thieves' cant, or does anyone
Yes.
does anyone speak thieves' cant, or is anyone a criminal background?
I have
Aggressively
a criminal
no.
background.
I have thieves can't.
And I have a criminal
Okay.
background.
Crime buddies.
Okay.
By
so
your powers
both of you-
combined.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So no peelers. Sophia definitely knows. That means gambling den. It basically, it's no peelers. It's referring to gambling with no limits. It's not just gambling den. It's it's no peelers, no not no stakes, but no limits basically.
Like on the money plane.
For gambling. And the OXOXO is Sigil thieves' cant. These letter combinations are carved into buildings sometimes to let people in the know what's inside. So if you're a thief and you're looking for something, you can. And there's a whole bunch of these. The OX patterns. There's a whole bunch of these, and so if you're looking for a safe house, if you're looking for a fence, things like that, and you don't know of a person, but you do know the cant, you can find a place by looking for it carved into a building.
So Orin doesn't have a secret admirer.
Aw.
No.
Or at least one
Okay.
whose secret has not yet been revealed.
I guess, quick question, does this look like a chunk of rock that might have been once part of a building, or does it look like it's meant to be pocket-sized? The whole
I'm
time?
about to find out.
So go ahead and roll your nature check.
Yes.
But I'd say that's a good instinct. It does look like it's been broken.
Like
That's
off a building.
14.
Okay.
14. Yeah, so it does look like it's been broken off a building, and Wally, it is you don't know exactly the origin, but it's definitely a soft rock. Like, you're like, someone could break this off with another rock. You wouldn't need mining tools to strip this off. You could just be like, oh, that's cool, and, like, pick up a chunk of brick or something off the ground and kind of, like, break this thing off. Other than that, yeah, it's just jet black.
Interesting.
Interessant indeed.
Does because Sigel's got a lot of very unique architecture. Is there a check I could make to maybe think, like, does this rock remind me of any particularly notable buildings or areas in the city?
Yeah, I'd say go ahead and roll a history check.
Being that she's a local, maybe she could roll it and then run her.
Could
It doesn't matter.
give her advantage by also throwing survival on there? Obviously, like, I wouldn't know which kinds of buildings.
All of this is very kind, but I did roll a natural 20.
Okay, well, never mind.
You did roll a natural 20? Okay. This starts to come together for you very immediately, and I think perhaps there's a sense in this moment of why Ingrid was interested in doing this kind of work to begin with. Why, if she's not... I don't know how each person thinks of Ingrid, but she is in some ways ostensibly the boss, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that there's also a sense of how long she's been around that comes to you guys, because immediately you recognize, you go, oh, this is a piece from the scratch wall.
Yes, the scratch wall.
The scratch wall is not far from here. It's the scratch wall is not far from here. It's a demolished wall. It used to be this big obsidian wall, made with stone from Gehenna, which is one of the lower planes. I don't think did we ever end up in. I don't think we ended up in
not
Gehenna.
go to
Let me check
we
the
haven't made it there
map.
yet.
Hold on.
It's one of like the 3 we didn't end up in, but it's made from stone from Gehenna, and
Was it not where the chain
was
is?
destroyed.
No, Gehenna's
when
the
a
45-degree
piece of-
one. Sorry, please go on.
Ah.
Yeah, no, you're good. It was destroyed. It's adjacent to a neighborhood called the Slags, which is just a destroyed piece of Sigil because the Blood War tumbled through there years ago, and there was like a day of just intense fighting, and then it eventually got snuffed out and pushed away. But the whole place was just burned, destroyed, and no one really has been able to fix it since. There's a bunch of like devil and demonic, both types of like magic ambiently hanging around there. Some places are still hot from with fire, even though it's been literally years. So it's like just a destroyed piece of town that the Dabus don't try to fix because it's on the cusp of the Hive Ward. Anyway, the boundary of that is a wall that was knocked down during that same event, which is called, like I said, the Scratch Wall. It runs along the street called the Founder's Fence. A thing you also know is that is directly adjacent to the Weary Spirit Infirmary.
Ooh, well, that's good. Looks
So
like
you
we're going
found
to the same
two
place.
things from one long street, basically, that is just a stone throw from this building.
Well, I think we certainly have a direction. I personally wouldn't go down by the Slags on a casual walkabout, but I suppose everyone needs their local haunts.
Well, judging by the phrasing of this poster, I think we can safely assume that Orin was either personally suffering or knew somebody who he thought could use the medical attention. Strange, though. He seemed like a local boy, or at least his family seems like they've been here for, well, I suppose only 9 months at this particular spot of employment, but still.
Yeah, he'd worked there longer. He'd worked further
Yeah.
down.
I guess, like, I've been
This
here
was
a
a
couple...
promotion, believe it or not.
Right. I've been here a couple of years. Did I know that this hospital was, like, a super obvious organ trafficking front or something?
I'd say that when it's brought up to your attention, you're like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard people say that's a bad place.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
So
it's they prey on what do they call primes who are stupid.
Is that not just Prime?
I called them Mundies, but
Right.
clueless. They prey on the clueless.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you'd think he would have known better.
Yes, unless there was some other reason he wanted to go to that particular establishment.
Oui, desperation makes us do the dumbest things.
Well, I suppose we know which direction to go next.
Oui. Allons-y, oui.
I suppose so. Thank you very much for all your help, ma'am. We'll let you know if we have any more questions, but I think we're probably going to be all right.
Ingrid will reach into her pocket and flip out one of the business cards that everyone else seems to be neglecting to hand out. And be like, if you think of anything else you think might be useful, you can reach us here at our office, or feel free to send a sending or message or whatever. Thank you for your time. Slide the business card across the Ingrid reaching up from the bottom.
Tiny little
hand
business card
just
in her
scraping the
giant
top of the desk, like sliding it, inching it with her finger, like jumping up a little bit, like.
She pinches it between two fingers. She's like 15 feet tall.
Okay.
She's like maybe 14. She, stone giants aren't storm giants. She's not like 30 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So she pinches it between two fingers though, and like carefully pockets it. There's clearly like she gets stuff like this all the time because she lives in a world that's usually built for humanoids. And she says, "Thank you for doing this. If I think of anything, I will. But I'm just glad that someone's looking into it here."
Of course. Someone has to help out in Sigil after all.
You tell him. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for the
so
gas up, Bileyg.
there are the two nearby. You guys are escorted back out, and there are the two nearby locations.
I make one last check as we're leaving.
Yes, please.
I would like to know if
Yeah.
anybody's watching us
Ooh, good eye.
Yeah, go ahead.
as
make
we
a
come
perception
in
check.
and out, just in case.
Oobtaglor is still chatting with Marcellus.
It's only a +6, a 13.
13. You look around. There is a fair amount of energy. There's people moving about, but there's just not that many people for you to have been watched
Fair
right
enough.
now.
Yeah.
So you think that you're probably safe.
Good. All right.
All right. With that, you are escorted back out. What kind of formal title does Oobtaglor would you suggest? What would Marcellus call Oobtaglor?
I don't really know. Just Oobtaglor,
Yeah, my
honestly, would be fine.
You see motions for each of you to go. Please have a pleasant day. Oobtaglor.
And you as well, Marcellus. It was so nice talking to you. I hope we can do this again sometime. Perhaps I might drop
Yes.
by.
Bring
Please
credentials.
Can I make an insight check to see how that social interaction went for Oobtaglor?
But you already know
yeah,
me
make an
what
insight
credentials
check.
are needed.
That's just
Maybe he can
10.
give you the credentials next time.
Oh, no,
10?
11. Sorry, I have +2 to insight.
Oh wow, that changes everything. Marcel seems perfectly charmed by Oobtaglor in the generic first meeting, very polite sense.
That could go very well for you, Oobtaglor. It seems like you've made a real friend.
Yeah, you really got away with people.
Well, we were here to network, were we not?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
I'm begging you to at least one of you give out the business cards. Do
What
you know
is
how
gonna need to
expensive
explain to me how
printing
networking
is in
works?
Sigil?
I'm gonna make I think I'm gonna apply a printing tax to Sophia every session we play. She loses like 1 silver for index card for
That's
business cards.
unfortunate because I was going to make a running gag out of all the ways my pocket business cards keep getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's why she has to keep spending a silver.
Ingrid
I
spending her
accidentally,
free.
these are the pants that I was wearing when we accidentally fell into the ditch fighting that gelatinous cube. So they're still roughly cod shaped, but like the ink is all wibbly.
The reason that Ingrid doesn't fall back on her like previously made
They
fortune
vaguely
is
smell of petroleum.
because people keep losing the business cards.
They're
just to
sort
keep
of
printing
floppy
more.
now. I just wouldn't feel good handing them out, the texture's all wrong.
My face and my reputation
weird
is
is
all
there-
we need.
It's still got a watermark, but I'm not sure if it was there when we got them printed in the first place, if you know what I'm saying.
God.
Water stain.
The strange chemical mixture of the ditch still got structural integrity, but it's floppy now instead of stiff. It's not crumbling. It's just it's floppy.
It's like the process by which beans are turned into natto. Like, it's the same shape, but now it stretches.
All right. Well, as you head out, you guys did have 2 locations that were hinted at by the contents of the desk: the scratch wall and the infirmary. and they are both close to each other. So what would you like to do?
Well, the scratch wall's sort of on the way to the infirmary, so if we're all moving as a group, I'd suggest starting there, but if we wanted to split up in any way, that's certainly a possibility.
It
Well,
is
that's the logical
basically
reason.
on the way.
Well, I think there's no harm in checking out the wall first.
Very well.
Okay, so you guys start to head to the wall, and it takes you past Pride Street to a street called Founder's Fence, which you can see here. Here is the edge of the slags, and the ground is like blackened in places. And yeah, the scratch wall is exactly like I described. It used to be like 40 feet tall, and in some places it still is, but in some places it's knocked down so low that you can just see over it. Like you could scramble over the debris and stuff like that. But the places that are still standing are covered in scratches and markings and writings all about. Like I said, it's a fairly soft stone, so people use this as a like perfect place to graffiti
Excellent.
things.
Hell yeah.
As you're going, could I have my ranger make a survival check?
Ooh.
Okay.
Come on, Ranger.
We are being followed.
Okay, this is my third 7 in a row. I'll
We're
take
gonna go
it.
to hell in episode 2 again.
Yay!
No, that's a 13 total.
13? Yeah, I'd say with a 13 that, yeah, there isn't anything immediately that's standing out to you. But as you look over the wall, people, what would you like to do as you look over the wall, I guess I should ask.
I would like to...
Loosely, Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because we have a piece of the wall, so, I mean, it's a big wall, I imagine it's very difficult, but, like, see if I can't suss out where this piece might have come from. If I assume I can't get very precise, but, like, looking at the shape of the broken off piece in the wall, is there any sort of, like, conspicuous indents, things like that?
Okay, that will take you some, if you're looking for where that piece came from, that will take you some time. So that's the approach that you want to take right now?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Then in the meantime, that's an investigation or a perception.
I would like it to be investigation.
These skills are so silly, so
Similar.
similar. It's so silly. Language is difficult. Is anyone else interested in doing anything while Sophia undertakes that?
Ingrid's got the rock in her hand. It is just like squinting at the wall and slowly moving her hand around, like when you have like the last couple pieces of a puzzle. Like, I swear it's going to be like a little to the left.
Not to put too fine a point on it, it's like it's like trying to find one name on it's the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, right? It's like trying to find one name on that wall, and also it's 40 feet tall, and also it's partially demolished.
But to be fair, he was a dwarf, so you only need to look at like the bottom 5 feet.
See, that's thinking
That's
like
true.
a detective.
That's true.
Yeah, that narrows it down significantly.
But anyway,
Ingrid
so
has her old grandma
make your roll, but
glasses
hold on
on,
just a second. I want to
slowly
see if anyone else is
making her way
undertaking
across the
anything
wall.
in the meantime.
The sigil thieves can't. That was like a symbol for like something nearby. You said, what was it for?
Oh, it was for gambling den.
Gambling den. Okay.
But
High stakes
yeah,
gambling.
but
den.
the word was written there. It's written there not because it was marking a gambling den, but to say, hey, if you see this, this means gambling den. It's like it's like a cipher for thieves and sigil to like come here and look. That's why it says the letters OXOXO and then parentheses no peelers, because normally you would just see OXOXO, and then if you know what that means. So that's like a cipher.
So he took it as like probably like a keyword to be like, oh, okay, this means that.
This is
I
what
remember.
I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that kind of makes me feel like searching the rest of the wall probably isn't going to tell us a tremendous about.
A little to the left, maybe, or I could. Try
Well, she's having fun. I wouldn't start
down.
interrupting.
Is there anyone
Damn
around?
it. Should have flipped it over.
Go ahead and make me a perception check, Wally.
It's the middle of the day at this point, so it's not.
I mean, you're gonna get information no matter what you roll. There are people around, 100%. It's not completely abandoned, but like, give me your perception. And
Finally,
we'll see
decent
what you
roll.
get.
That's an 18.
Woohoo!
18. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So you start looking around. It's kind of a weird place because you're on one. There's all these buildings across from. Like on Founder's Fence, and they're weird because they face the slags, so a bunch of them are destroyed, but you can see the nice rooftops on the other side because they face the Hall of Records district. Okay. So like there's just this like big street group of houses that are like Two-Face almost, like one side all fucked up, the other side really taken care of. You look around, there's like smaller shacks and stuff nearby too, people who have set up in the slags because like no one is going to come there to kick them out.
Right.
You see in the distance the very skinny, very tall building. Like it's like one room, but they must just be a bunch of like one room wide, but there must just be a bunch of them in sequence because it's very long. For the infirmary, you can see like smoke coming out of its chimney. And you're casting about. There are some people like kind of going about their business. And you see there is there's a woman like walking around with the infirmary, Weary Spirit Infirmary flyers that you saw, and is like passing them around to people.
Interesting. Okay. I guess I would head over to talk to her at some point.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to do?
I was probably going to do something similar to what Lepan was doing, but upon seeing Lepan doing that, Oobtaglor is just going to sit back and let him do his thing.
Okay.
I think Bileyg is not going to interrupt Ingrid, but is at this point like, all right, next stop is going to the extremely unlegit hospital and seeing how much they're willing to tell us if we scare them.
Okay. So, Lepan, you approach this woman. She's like a half-elven woman, and her hair is just kind of like it's got a little bit of dried blood in it. It's a little gross. It's kind of like hanging by her side. It's kind of gross. She's got basically like old scrubs on, so you can tell that like she has been working somewhat recently.
That's unhygienic.
She's doing the same. She's basically passing out the flyer to anyone she can hand it to and saying the same thing, which is just what the flyer says. Like, Weary Spirit Infirmary, if you need any care.
Lapin will walk up to her and he'll say, bonjour, madame. He will like generously he'll take one of the flyers, fold it neatly 8 times, the maximum amount of times you can fold paper, put it in his pocket, and I need some help if you got some
Are you
time.
in pain? Can we be of assistance to you today?
Pain? No. I'm
Sure? Your ears look a little bit flushed. She goes to like grab your ear and look inside.
Oh,
Whoa.
absolutely not. That's a big no.
Whoa.
Unacceptable.
Lapin sort of puts his hand out to like physically stop her.
It's a
It's like, madame, s'il vous plaît, don't touch the ears. I'm looking for a friend of mine who may or may not have been around here fairly recently. Twergar, nothing too, I guess, distinguishing. He doesn't have the flyer. I guess he doesn't need it.
I mean, I could say that you guys have the flyer. I don't think
Yeah.
you left it anywhere, so
No,
it
I
seems
still got
reasonable
it.
that any of you could have the flyer.
I think I would have probably like followed because these are the people I want to investigate next. So like I wouldn't have like interrupted.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'm like nearby enough that if you're like, oh, I need the flyer, I can be like, oh, it's this one. Over
Oui.
here.
Merci,
Yeah,
Bileyg.
Bileyg, you can step in.
Yeah, no worries.
And it seems he has gone missing, and we are currently looking for him. Does this seem
see she looks over.
familiar?
Not one of our patients. Looks a bit malnourished, perhaps. Should hopefully stop by if you see him. Send him our way. We could help him feel a little bit more recovered, you know?
Oui. And your services, do they typically, how much do they cost if I would have an ailment of my own, which I am perfectly healthy, by the way?
No charge. No charge at all. That's the best part about it.
Ooh, that's very generous of you, ma'am.
We're just
Can
trying
I-
to do good work.
Can I run an
Well,
insight check
please,
on
for the love
this
of God,
lady?
do it.
Yeah, run
Insight
run an
check.
insight check on her.
What's your plus? Can I help? Probably not.
I have a +6 to insight.
Okay, yeah, take it away, Chief.
That is the 4th 7 I've rolled. Okay, new dice. New dice. You go away now.
The RNG ain't working
Two
today.
people are
that's
allowed.
a
If you'd
total-
like to insight check as well, Bileyg, you're allowed.
Oh, well, I don't
Total
want to
of 13.
impose. I suppose I could, Nope, that's a 9.
This woman is disturbingly off-putting. There's nothing about her that makes you think that she's directly lying, but she's distractingly macabre. Want a hat that says distractingly macabre.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, madame, we are going to head to the hospital. Anyway, is there someone who would keep track of the patients coming in and out? Is who would be best for us to talk to about our missing friend?
Some kind of record system of everyone that goes in and out, perhaps?
Oh, we don't take appointments or anything, just anyone who needs our care. We open it to them. The way you're clamping your jaw, do you have any tooth pain? She gets, down in Bileyg's face and, goes to, look in your mouth.
Oh, that's very generous of you, ma'am, but I assure you I'm in perfect health.
Well, you've been extremely helpful, but I think we will make our way down there right now.
Maybe just a little bit.
I do have a question. Oobtaglor's been watching this entire exchange. What kind of ailments do you treat? Is it purely physical, or is it that of mental and emotional ailments as well?
Or magical? Curses? Hexes?
I imagine those would be part of physical.
Magic is difficult. We try to avoid magic. We don't use any of it in our treatments.
Oh, that's quite unusual.
Otherwise, yes. Sickness of the mind and sickness of the body are two sides of the same coin. One can affect the other.
So things such as depression, anxiety, addictions, perhaps?
Ooh.
It's been known.
That's a very good read.
I mostly want to get away from the creepy
Yeah,
lady.
I can't believe that she's done the two
putting
faux
her
pas.
hands.
She put her hands on your ears. She got down to my face level. It's just all bad.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to ask of her?
I think we want to get away from her as fast as
I'm
possible.
all right. I'm good.
I can't think of.
All right.
anything
Fantastic.
Else. Really.
As you start to go away, let's go quick to Sophia. What did you roll since we took some time away?
13 plus 8 for a 21.
Why do the rest of us even
so
like
21.
bother to roll investigation check?
I took intelligence as a high score. I thought it'd be important.
I love it. I'm
It's
so happy.
You guys knew what this campaign was about, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
building
we
characters.
It's not my fault that I rolled the stats I rolled.
As you are looking around, they are off on their own, chatting and doing, doing their own investigations. And so, Ingrid, you spend a little bit of time on your own, and it's not the sight of chipped block that draws you in. You do find an area though that has a couple other messages written down, and you think you found the corner where the block is chipped off here. If you would like, these might be useful or may not be useful, but there's the one you already have. There is also one that reads XXO. And next to it says no stag turners, which means it's home for fugitives.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there is OOXX. Next to it says cool jink for hot junk, so that's a fence.
That was OXX.
OOXX.
OOXX is
Cool
cool
jink?
jink for hot junk.
Okay. Hot junk. Okay. That's okay.
That sounds like a fence.
Yeah.
That is a fence.
It
Yep.
is, yeah.
Not like the fence that you're currently
I
looking at,
understand.
but like
Yeah.
Well,
you find that which is interesting, but what catches your eye is the newly plastered on paper over some of the carvings that are nearby. And as your eyes travel, you see that there is a missing poster. It reads, missing, and then come to address if found. And then it says there's not a drawing, but there's a description of a mechanite and the name KT.
KT.
KT. Mechanite.
And it looks like it was plastered like pretty recently. It hasn't been weathered or anything yet.
Like within the last couple days recently, or like a little bit longer than
Like
that?
within the last couple days recently, yeah.
Okay.
An unusual
So potentially
string of
two missing people.
disappearances in this particular area. Are there any other missing posters that look a little bit older nearby?
Roll me a perception check. Start looking around.
Damn it, perception. That is an 11.
It takes you a little bit further from where you are as you start following this hunch, and you start looking around. There's none on the wall, but you come to a corner of a building. It's not for a missing person, though. It's for a missing dog. It reads, Lost Blink Dog Finnegan.
Oh, nice.
Weird little dude.
I feel like if you own a blink dog, you gotta be used to it disappearing on the
Weird
regs.
little dudes.
Yeah.
And there's an address to call upon if you lose it. It's a nearby address as well. It's only a couple blocks away in the Hall of Records district.
Both of them had addresses, right? Both posters?
Yeah, both of them had addresses. The address for the mechanite was further off in the Hive ward, way close to you guys. But it's an address you would have walked like past on your way here, and the dog is from like right around this neighborhood. Okay. Sophia, as you're looking at this poster, can I get you to make me a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom?
Oh,
It's a straight roll. It's a 2.
Oh, no.
no!
Oh wait, you're an elf, right?
Yeah. I can't magically be put to sleep, and I
Are
have
you
advantage against being charmed. Is this a charm? Am I being charmed right now?
Please roll an advantage.
Okay.
Oh.
A 1, so that's still a 2.
Ingrid, no!
High in low wins.
I in
No.
low.
Stop.
Ingrid.
Stop.
Yes.
Ingrid, you are looking around, and a building catches your eye. Among the houses here, it stands about 2 floors taller than them, so it sticks out, not a lot. It is a tower, though. It's this kind of like gray-colored tower. And it's it towers over you, which is normal for Sigil.
And a
It's
tower.
crooked and like a little bit, like almost like it's kind of sloping a little bit, which is also not unique or extraordinary for Sigil. But the lack of windows is concerning, and that's why it draws you in. You feel like you need to investigate, as is the heavy bar, like the bar of wood that sits outside the house, like locking it from the outside. And you know that there are answers inside that house. You need to get inside that tower and investigate.
Do I see
Do any of us know?
Ingrid wandering off towards this tower?
You see that Ingrid's not with you guys. You guys have been off talking to...
Yeah, but she was like 10 feet
creepy lady
away.
for
She
a
was
while.
just over there.
So I need to get into the tower.
You need to get into this tower right now.
Oh boy.
Madame Ingrid, we're heading towards the hospital.
Austin, you can tell me if this
right
is
down.
fair or not, because I do have the message cantrip, and I imagine if Ingrid saw a heavy thing, knowing that she has a strength score of 7, she might call for help from her compatriots to help her with the door.
So here's what I'd say. 1, it is perfectly reasonable for me to think that you would call them over, that you have the message cantrip and you would thus want to call them over. 2, even with a strength of 7, you're going to be able to move this bar.
Great.
So you're going to be able to get in. If you want to call them over, that's totally fine, but you're not going to have to wait for them to get inside.
So I think what Ingrid's going to do is she is going to send a message to Lapin and be like, "Hello, darling. I'm going to the weird tower. It seems to have some sort of clue. Join me when you're ready." And then I'll just start walking in without waiting for them.
Yeah, fantastic. So you lift the bar up. It comes pretty easily. You lay it across next to the house, and you open the door and walk right in. Lapan, it's at this point that you are trying to extricate yourself from this incredibly uncomfortable conversation when the message comes through.
Je suis désolé, madame, but it seems that I'm needed elsewhere. Adieu. And I will look at my
Hurry back!
compatriots. It seems that Madame Ingrid has stumbled upon a clue. She's headed the other way, which is a bit strange, but I don't see.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's always real good at picking up those subtle ones, so I'm sure she's
she's
got a
picking
good
up
reason.
all the things the city of Sigil is putting down. Trash,
We see,
magical enchantments, everything.
She's so ready. I mean, she's very experienced with this city. I'm sure that there's no trouble at all.
All right, so
We're
I'm going to say
approaching
that you guys are
this
basically like
spooky
one
tower.
ability check behind her. So I'm going to let her experience the room, and then we'll catch up to you
Big
guys
red
as
button.
you,
Big red
as
button.
you
Experience the
catch up
room.
to her.
Sure.
This
What
is,
does that
I'm
I'm going to
mean?
let her experience the room.
This is just a really aggressive marketing campaign for Sigel's first escape room. They're just networking, guys. I told you networking was an abyssal thing.
Ingrid,
Watch the whole building be a mimic as you walk.
as
right
you
into
enter,
house.
the door closes behind you, leaving you in a dimly lit entryway.
I have dark vision.
Old banners line the walls.
You have to
All right. Good night, folks. Thank you for the episode.
Oh,
Do I have dark vision?
The next sound you're about to hear is the sound of my laptop flying out the window.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
I need to you notice that Daredevil comic where he's like he walks into his apartment, it's all dark, and of course he's Daredevil, he knows what's going on, and he goes, "Oh, 6 heavily armed men wearing night vision goggles. Whatever am I gonna do?" And he turns on the light.
Yup, yeah.
I need the I have dark vision version of that, where you're like, I have dark vision, and I go, oh good. I have
Great,
the
then you can see
dark
this
vision
flashbang.
flare that blinds you if you,
Yeah, it's just in like the
Anyway.
infrared spectrum, so it gets that stupid drow explanation for dark vision.
Fantastic. So, with your dark vision, you see that the banners that line the walls have, they're very old at this point. This building has clearly been abandoned for some time. They have old harmonium symbols on them. So, they're like, which I actually think I have here. So, they are like, the harmonium has not been active in Sigil since the war, since the faction war. So, it's a sword on a shield, basically. It's not that exciting. They've not been active here, so if this was their building and they were the last people to inhabit it, it's been a while. You see they just kind of hang loosely in the unmoving air, dust just floating completely still except for where your movements disturb it. You see there are weapon racks now empty, rotting, and gathering dust all about. 2 doors stand on either side at the far end. And the entire thing is cast in an eerie glow as dozens of black candles fill the room, slowly melting, turning into piles of dark liquid on the floor, like the house itself is bleeding.
Pleasant. Very
So what would
pleasant.
you like to do?
I mean, this place screams clues. Like, not gonna lie.
Do I? Because you said that if violence is sitting still, do any of them, like, could I perceive any, like, dust moving under one as though there's a secret passage anywhere? Because Sophia sees this room and her initial thought is, I can walk behind one of those banners. There's a secret passage in here, but I don't know if that's actually the case.
Scooby-Doo ass.
It seems
Which of them is
pretty
animated different from the
Scooby-Doo.
background?
Oh, so you want to see the patterns of dust in the air to see if there is any...
Or, like, like, if a
to see
bookcase
if
or
there's,
a
like-
wall, like, turned, there'd be, like, a pattern in the dust on the floor or something.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. So go ahead and roll me... I think this is like a survival check.
Great. I'm okay. Am I good at survival? I'm good
I
at
feel like it's more than
nature.
investigation, right? I'll allow an investigation. You know what? I'll say investigate at disadvantage because this is super weird and arcane. Survival would be checking for airflow, but I think it's possible. So if you want to roll investigation at disadvantage.
Cool. That's a 22.
Nice.
A 22. You start to look around, and you notice
Get my
that the
glasses
air,
out.
that the dust is not moving in any way to like distinguish a fake doorway somewhere. Which is when you notice that the dust is not moving in a weird way next to the supposedly real doorways. There's no airflow coming from behind those doors.
Am I in a mouth?
Like, presumably there should be a little bit of movement from the cracks around them, but instead it's just still.
Yep, that tears it. Big mimic.
Did I get eaten?
This monster house?
Is this a monster house?
This is...
Oh, I love that play.
All right, fantastic.
Oh, God.
I think I might have
All right,
gotten
Sophia.
eaten.
Sophia. Can I have you please make me a... Sometimes I write things down and then... oh, here it is. Can I have you make me a wisdom check? So just roll a d20 and add your wisdom.
So, +0. 12.
You won the contested check. That is one success. I need to write that down.
She won the what now?
Excuse?
What?
Oh, she's in
Huh?
danger.
Excuse me?
I'm in
Mr. DM,
danger.
sir?
What? You watch as one of the doors, suddenly the air behind it, suddenly the dust starts to move as if there is air behind it, and the door swings open for you.
Well. Am I still, like, charmed?
Nope, you entered. You already entered, which is what the charm was all about, so you're good now.
Oh.
Can I leave, or is that way blocked in any capacity?
Oh, well, you turned to go, and there is no door there.
Charming!
Yeah. You can leave if you can figure it out. Yeah. For sure.
Speaking of, you
This is
guys
escape
arrive at the house that Ingrid called you about.
Yes.
The door is shut and barred on the front.
Ooh, neat trick of her barring the way out after she went in.
No. This is fey trickery. This is some sort of trick. This is whatever
This is some fey bullshit, Your Honor.
If it's not fey, it's something nefarious. Okay.
Ooh,
Well,
yes.
regardless, we have to go after her, yes?
Well, I suppose the idea of it being fey trickery does rather increase the need for us to go after Ingrid.
All right.
Well, I'll walk through the open door while this is
I think
happening.
it'd be funny if Sophia rolled a new character,
Yeah, we
honestly.
have to pursue this missing dwarf. Obviously, this can't be related to that.
I had lived a full life. I always thought I'd outlive my great aunt Beatrice. She lived to 1,002, did not age gracefully, but full life. And I hoped to go a similar way. Looking better, but still. I like to walk through the door.
Ingrid just talking to herself, walking around this crazy house, probably gonna die.
They say it's good to talk to
Two
yourself.
questions. Do you guys enter, and Ingrid, do you go through the
I'm
doorway?
going through the doorway.
The door that
Yeah.
opened for you. All right.
We
Would you
have
go
to
through
go
the
after
doorway?
We have to go. We unfortunately, if we're going to,
We
Miss
have to
Emmy.
get monster housed.
Yeah.
cannot leave this poor old lady alone.
Yeah, I mean, I love her dearly, but she's more
She
than
just
well
finally
susceptible
grows
to
Wanders
some
away,
trickery.
out of sight.
Oh, well, you know how she gets when she's pursuing a clue, you know, it's it.
This better be a very good clue, as Evrard
Yeah, Bileyg will help you with the door.
moves the.
Yeah. You guys lift off the beam, lay it to the side. The door opens, and you find yourselves in much the same room. Or I should say, a room that looks exactly like the room that Ingrid entered.
No.
Only there's no Ingrid.
We enter as she goes through a room and the door disappears. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah.
No, you don't see her. She's not in here, even though simultaneously she's walking into another room. Ingrid, could I have you roll a d6 for me quick?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
One.
Mr. DM, sir.
Maybe
One.
that's good.
You walk through, and you are clearly in what looks like a dungeon. There is, like, cells along the walls. There are cells along the walls. There is, like, the candles are still around. That's the similar thing. But there's, just, like, empty cells all over the place. And as you enter and turn to look around and, like, gain the scope of this room, the door behind you is shut. There is only a jail cell behind you where you just walked in.
That
So I'm
bodes well.
in the cell, or I'm in the hallway in between the cells?
You're in the hallway, but the door you just walked through is now just a jail cell behind you.
Well, this day keeps getting better and better. I'll start walking down the hallway.
I think with that, I think this would be a good time to go to break.
Oh, you think that? You think this would be a good time to go to break?
Nobody
Yeah, I think we're gonna get to break. So we'll catch you back here in a minute.
the trouble I've seen.
Orin better
insane.
be in this tower.
Nobody knows my
This is just a red herring.
Yeah, this whole thing is just
Completely unrelated to Orin.
You gotta understand. It's so funny because the way my brain works, I was legitimately like, well, we gotta stay on track and find our missing Dwargar.
Yeah.
Like we don't have time to be messing
I
around.
think that this was a diversion as well.
It's like, oh no, she failed the wisdom save, and now we're doing this instead.
I still think I got
All right,
eaten.
we'll see y'all back here in just a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rolling with difficulty.
Have you ever wanted a weird little dude all your own? Well, now you can get one. Starting right now with this episode's release, Rolling with Difficulty is partnering with CrowdMade to create and sell pins of our favorite RoboCat, Plug. Now you can show off your captain status in style. This enamel pin of our best boy is not only beautifully designed by campaign artist Wally, but his little head actually bobbles, nodding along to your luckiest of bolts. Pre-orders are live from now until July 22nd and are expected to ship out in August, so if you want to get a little guy all your own, go right on down to those show notes, check out the link, and order yourself a weird little dude. I know I'm excited to have my little enamel plug hanging out and telling me that all my decisions are good ones, and I hope that you guys enjoy him as well. Thanks for listening.
Rolling with difficulty. And welcome back. When last we left our heroes, you had entered this strange, unknown house. This ex-harmonium tower that was doing strange things, enchanting you to enter, keeping you hidden from each other, presenting dwarves where there were none, and vice versa.
To be fair, only one of us was enchanted to enter. The rest of us were just dumb enough to
We
follow.
didn't ask.
You don't need to make a wisdom saving throw when you're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's pick up. Ingrid has had a chance to look around a little bit, so let's pick up with our other heroes. The three of you stand in this ostensibly foyer, looking around at the scene that I described to Ingrid when she entered. What would you like to do?
Did we see where Ingrid went?
No, you haven't seen Ingrid. You entered this room; it was empty.
Is there signs of anybody else having come through this room recently?
Roll me a survival check. Also, guys, I left my glass on the table in the other room. Be 2 seconds.
Okay.
Quick, the DM's not here.
Quick, inside baseball.
Oh, would you look at that? 3
I'm
nat
pretty
20s.
sure.
Yeah. Let's just start rolling.
I really think
and,
we all just
load
got
up our.
eaten.
If he's not back in 15 minutes, we're legally allowed to just start crit succeeding at everything we try.
That's true.
Yeah. We rolled
50
episodes
episodes,
and
you're gonna
got.
make an error.
Yeah, we all got
investigations and
crazy
we got,
nat 20s.
We got nat 20s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
What?
we're
We
just so good.
What?
It's a shame that you missed
Yeah.
it, but oh man, it was
Does that mean
crazy.
we're gonna have to keep me standing up to go get water in the episode?
Kinda, yeah.
I was like, oh, we'll just cut this and we'll get this in post.
You fool! You gave
All
us an
right,
opportunity
Wally,
to do bits.
Yeah.
Wally, go ahead and make a. What was your survival check?
Survival 18.
18, fantastic. So you're looking around, and the thing that you know, so the dust hanging in the air, the candles that have been dripping for a long time. You start to look around to see if there are any tracks. You don't see any footprint. You know what Ingrid's shoes look like,
High
or at
heels.
least about you.
High heels.
You
yeah.
can tell. In other words, this is to say you can tell shoes that aren't Ingrid's, and indeed you can see dust has settled over them, but there are footprints in here. They are, they're actually about the size of Bileyg's, and they walk in the door, and then they turn off to the right, and they disappear behind what is just a blank wall, no door. They look like they walked through the wall.
Magic. Okay.
We'll
Start
see.
poking at that wall.
You have spells.
We'll see about that. I'm
I think
gonna.
they're all casters.
Is there at least a 1-inch gap present in that wall?
You go up, that wall is smooth. There is nothing there.
Power.
They were prepared for ooze.
Drat.
Ooze.
So we're all in agreement that this is some magic bullshit, yes?
Well,
Oi?
there's one way to know for sure.
Have any of you turned around to look to see if the door is still there to leave?
Oh yeah, I'll turn around and look at the door.
Yeah, the door's still there.
Oh, interesting.
I'll open it. Just peek outside.
It doesn't open. It's barred from the outside.
Ah, yeah, there it is. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'd like to use Divine Sense just for funsies, because I can do it 4 times per long rest, so I may as well.
Yeah, tell me, remind me, I could have you read it all again. Remind me what it does.
Yep.
The whole thing.
As an action, you can detect good and evil until the end of your next turn. You can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. So it's a long shot in a seemingly empty room, but, like, is the building alive? Like, is this a fucking Event Horizon situation?
Okay, so it's not technically in the language there, but I think that the thing would come across. So a hallow spell is typically like holy, and you're as you do your divine sense, does it look like anything to anyone who's watching you, or is this just kind of like a thing that happens entirely mind palace?
My pupils glow like gold for a little minute, but I don't think it like reveals things to anybody but me.
Gotcha. It doesn't know, but as you guys watch as Bileyg's eyes glow gold for a moment, and Bileyg, yeah, you're getting a whiff. It's almost like a hallow, but maybe perhaps an unhallow. There is a strong, like, fiendish scent coming off of this, but not quite. Like, if this was like, it's not. How best to describe it? We're halfway there. Like, it's not a normal building, but it's not quite all the way fiendish, unhallowed yet. There's
like perhaps maybe when the blood war spilled through right down the street, this place was affected by something. Perhaps.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's stronger than that.
Oh,
it's stronger. It's
just,
stronger
like,
than an old
background
smell.
radiation.
Yeah, it's stronger than just a background radiation. It's an active thing. In fact, you notice there's the sense that it is like ongoing, and you can almost see. It's like it's not. You can't exactly see it, but there's something up with the walls. Like there's an ongoing process in the walls here. It's kind of hard to describe. It's hard for me to put into. It's like hard for you to comprehend. It's hard for me to put into words, but it's also hard for you to comprehend. So
there's like vibes here that are rancid.
There's a vibe. Yeah, there's a vibe here that's coming from the building.
We saw you in your
structure.
spooky house, and the vibes were absolutely rancid.
Yeah, Evrard, I think your judgment is correct. There's definitely something hinky going on in this here building.
Okay. We need to find our way forward.
This is also a good time. Bileyg, go ahead and make me a wisdom check.
A wisdom check? Like a save or just
like
a check?
I had to do.
Nope, just a check. A D20 plus your wisdom.
Okay.
Just like Sophia had to do. Or maybe different than Sophia had to do.
Maybe. There's no way of knowing.
Just like Sophia had to do.
6. Womp womp.
Well, I only got a 4.
Oh.
So that is a success.
Don't like how this is contested.
Yeah, me neither.
And that is a failure. Yeah.
Does that happen like within my divine sense turn? Do I get like a vibe, like a point, like an animal reaction?
You understand that there is something fiendish permeating this space, and as you come to that understanding, you guys watch as a door that there was one door in this room, it swings open for you guys.
Speaking of the way forward,
Is that where the like dusty footprints lead, or is this like
footprints
the
went
door
straight
that-
into the
No.
wall?
Okay.
Footprints went straight into the wall. Yeah. It's
I think
just a
we got to
different door.
assume that this place is maybe more than a little bit alive, and if Orin came in here, well, hopefully he's still here.
not worried for your elderly companion?
He's been in here 2 days.
We say
Okay.
to the walls.
I could just feel her correcting me. Okay, I'm gonna go towards the door.
So, what would you like to do?
I'd like to head towards that there spooky door that just opened all by itself.
But we'll all agree to stick together, yes? Because I don't want to lose anyone else in this party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only
All right,
Sophia rolls new
go ahead and roll a d6 for me, one of you. Bileyg, since you took the initiative, why don't you roll a d6?
Yeah. Okay. 3.
3. You guys enter, and it is into a very old kitchen. There's like basically nothing left in here of use. There are like utensils and stuff, but clearly anything, like there's no more food, obviously, and there's just kind of like odds and ends about. It's not like everything is even left here. There's just like some loose bits. There's like a countertop, and there's like a basin for a sink, and there's clearly a chimney that's been like kind of boarded up, and yeah. So as you enter there, let's go back over to Ingrid. Ingrid,
Yes.
you find yourself in like the dungeon area here, the cells. What would you like to do?
Well, I suppose I'll start walking down the hallway. I don't know that there's much.
Okay.
You know, as I'm going, I'll look in the cells, and if any of them seem to contain anything, that will stop me to investigate. But if they're empty, then I'll just keep on walking.
As you walk by, you see that empty manacles hang in most of them. The occasional one has a straw mattress that's like really gross at this point. But you just walk. You come to you come to the end of the hallway, and there's a turn. You turn down. There's more cells.
Oh dear. I'm going to try walking one more time, and if that doesn't work, then we will re-strategize.
Okay. There's another right, so you turn to right to go into this hallway. You go at the end of the hallway, you turn right, there's more cells.
House, I believe you're messing with me. I'd like to not be in the dungeon anymore. Hello? House?
Make a persuasion check.
That's a 16.
16. You swear you can hear in your mind, you hear like
Oh my goodness.
Okay, remembering how close we are to the shattered part of the city, that wall and everything, and Ingrid being something of a local, and being able to speak Infernal, I'm gonna try it again, but this time I'm gonna speak in Infernal. I'm serious, if you don't mind. I'd really like to be anywhere else, and I'm not in a cell, which makes me think I'm not detained. I don't know if you have a more comfortable waiting area for digestion or whatever's going on.
you respond back in Infernal, and make me an insight check.
Sure.
Make me an insight check.
Ingrid Warlock Patronarch.
15. Ingrid is the warlock
15.
patron.
You expect this to bridge the gap and bring you closer, but speaking Infernal pushes
The other way.
further back.
It's the other one.
There is like a recoiling from a hot stove.
I'll keep going in Infernal. Oh, don't like me so much now, do you? You know what you're supposed to do with things you've eaten and you don't like. That disagree with your stomach. Hurl, you know, put them back outside. Not keep them down in the pits.
Go ahead and make me another wisdom check.
Great. It's cocked.
Jesus
8.
Christ. This is a war of the bad rolls. I rolled a 6.
Yay!
High and low is high and low.
One of the cell doors opens, and as it does, you see that there's a staircase just beyond it, leading up. It was definitely not there a minute ago.
Thank you for acquiescing, darling. And I'll go down the stairs.
Up the stairs.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Great. It's freaking 1 again.
More jail.
You come into a series of bedrooms is the wrong word. Bunks.
Bunks,
Barracks.
okay.
Barracks. That's the word. Rows of beds. Neat little dressers and bedside tables set at the foot of each of them. Each of them moth-eaten and worn out. Let's go back to our other friends in the kitchen. What would you like to do?
I'd like to look for Ingridy footprints in the dust on the floor.
I
Very
was also going to do
prominent
the same, but for Orin footprints.
ball of the foot, and then just the point where the heel would be.
Yep.
Cool. So, perception or investigation checks or survival if you're looking for footprints.
Oh, which of those 3 things?
Any of those things would be allowed. They might get you different things depending on what you roll, but just let me know what you roll.
Cool. Well, they're all bad.
I'll just do investigation. They're all
I'll
the
try
same.
perception.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception.
14.
Hey, dirty 20.
Hey.
Oh,
Dirty 20? Okay. Noir, what'd
Dirty
you roll?
20 looking for the thing I know
14.
isn't in the room.
13?
14.
14, sorry. 14, you start looking around, and you see no sign of people having been in this particular room yet. So there were footprints before. You don't see any... whatever footprints... whoever left those other footprints, they didn't travel through here, and neither has Ingrid. On a 20... Bileyg, you start looking around, looking for signs that someone else had been in here. Like, maybe there's, if there's not footprints, maybe they left something behind or something. When you get the distinct feeling of being watched, and quickly you turn your head and you just catch the eyeball that opened in the wall behind you close and retreat back into the wall as you see it.
we got eaten. We got eaten so bad, you guys.
I don't know what animals you deal with that have eyeballs in their stomachs. Okay. All right. Well, not to alarm anybody. There was there was an eyeball in that wall there. Sorry. The shock of observing what was observing me in its turn. Anyway, I don't like this house very much. I think we should find Ingrid and get out of here post haste.
Hello. My name is Oobtaglor Burr. I have with me Open and Shut Investigations. We are looking
You don't need
for
to tell them who we
perhaps a couple of our missing companions. One is an elven woman named Ingrid Starling. The other, perhaps you might know them, a Durgar by the name of Orin.
Make me a persuasion check, and Red, make me a contested wisdom check.
What? Oh, just a normal,
So
like,
another
the
wisdom
checker.
check, yeah. And
Okay.
Noir,
I was like, am I
make a
fighting
persuasion.
Oob on this one? Do I disagree that much with this approach?
Natural 20.
Also
Oh,
natural 20.
What is happening?
Austin, you gotta go get another drink so everyone thinks these are fake.
Yeah. All right. First off, natural 20 success for Bileyg. As
Yay.
you start to comprehend a little bit what's going on, to be inside of a creature that is malleable, watching you, malevolent, collecting people, and this fiendish presence that you still kind of taste on your tongue after the divine sense that you deployed before. With a nat 20 from Oobtaglor. It's so awkward. Every time I think I'm saying it wrong.
You gotta start
Oobtaglor.
with the emphasis on the oob.
Oobtaglor.
Any pronunciation, it works.
Malleable.
I keep feeling I should say that Oobtaglor Burr because it sounds anyway, Oobtaglor. You in your deep gelatin mind feel the voice come back, and how, because there's a sense of familiarity with you being a slime. What is the nature of this thing that what does it say to you? You hear Wally has a thought. I don't know. I know what Wally's thinking. You hear in your mind. You might be weird to digest.
I find myself to be unpredictable. Either I go down smooth or not at all.
You gotta contextualize that statement there.
No.
Yeah, Oobtaglor just says that to the room. You guys didn't hear anything. That was in Oobtaglor's mind.
Yeah.
And they just said that.
Yeah.
You hear back.
All right.
You won't last longer anyway. It's almost time. It's almost time.
It's almost time, the house says. It's communicating with me. I feel some sort of a kindred spirit, which is not kindred in the slightest.
Oh. All right.
And specifically, it mentioned digestion, so...
Oh, good. That's always such a good sign. All right. I say we try to find the next door out of here as quick as we can.
I suppose, yes.
You see, Bileyg, another one opens up for you. This time there is no doorway. It's just an arch and a set of stairs leading down.
I mean, we may as well, right?
Yeah, Evrard's going to unsheath his rapier, hold it in front of him, says, if you are indeed a creature, you're making a big mistake. And he will go down the stairs, dragging the tip of the rapier along the wall.
All right. You drag the tip of the rapier along the wall, and as you do, there is a slight, you see, like, you make a scratch, and a little bit of blood starts to trickle out where you scratched it.
Boy, I tell you, this city really has everything, huh?
You guys start to go down the stairs, and there's a slight tremor underneath your feet as you do. And Oobtaglor, you get into your mind, you hear, how is he doing that? How is he knowing me?
I'm not smart enough to interpret this.
There's two he's that could be being discussed.
What you mean? I just communicated that I mean, you mentioned digestion. I don't think it's that difficult to connect the dots between what exactly is digesting us, and so if we're inside a creature, then we can scratch it. Is that what you're referring to?
No. You're knowing me. It feels bad.
Well, perhaps that's just the uncomfortability of being strangers. I've told you my name. What's yours?
Name? I have no name.
That might be why you're so uncomfortable and unknowing. How about we think of a name for you, my friend?
Oob, we can't get attached to the nightmare house. I'm putting my foot down. There's nowhere we could put it, and we don't know what it eats.
I'm vetoing Nightmare
you
House
might
as an
know what it
option
is.
for a name. I'm just letting you know. Dream House is also off the table. I'm going to be perfectly frank.
I don't want a name. I want food.
Okay, well, we're not going to have a very productive conversation if you digest us, right? Nor will it be productive if you digest
It
our
takes
friend.
time.
I'm at this point starting to relay everything that I'm hearing
Okay.
to.
All right. There's a slight chance Orin's still alive. That's good.
House. Can I call you House? I know you don't want a name, but it is the name of the object we are in, so I feel like you have to compromise on that.
There's a moment where it's like kind of thinking, and it says, actually, make me a persuasion check about the name.
Okay.
about giving it this is interesting. It does not really have identity. You're trying to give it identity, so make me a persuasion check.
Okay. natural 15 plus
Guys, we
8,
can't
23.
pack bond with the giant house.
23?
That ate us.
We're going to
You
pack
hear-
bomb with the
Yeah.
giant house.
There's a beat, and then it says, "I like maze."
Maze! There we're getting somewhere now. We're in a fucking maze, you guys.
Oh yeah, like corn. Okay.
No.
Yeah, the steps are just,
Like,
you guys have been walking down the steps, and like the
gonna say,
building's
this
not
is-
that tall, folks.
This is a
Like,
very long
Yeah.
hallway.
Maze
Yeah.
like of the
Some
Oobtaglor variety.
Okay. Monsieur Maze. If you said he was hungry, right? That's the.
Yes, and that digestion takes a long time. Or some time.
Evrard would think for 2 seconds. He'll take the tip of the sword off of the wall that he's been dragging it against, and he says, "If it's food you would like to eat, Monsieur Maze, perhaps you'd prefer something a lot more palatable? Oui?
I like people. He gives me plenty of them.
Who gives you plenty?
He? You said? Well, actually, I wouldn't have heard this.
I think at this point it would be a communal. It can communicate telepathically with all of you at that point. So I think it's fair to say that the three of you
Oh,
would have heard
goody.
that.
Yes, Bileyg meet Maze. Maze, this is Bileyg.
Yeah. Okay. How long is the staircase gonna keep going? I tell ya, it's been a bad day for stairs.
Are you leading us
You
down
see,
to?
as you say that, a door just opens up in the wall next to you.
Oh, well, that's very thoughtful of you, Maze. I will open the door.
You do. You open the door, and you're looking into what was like a washroom. Except you're coming in from like the ceiling, and the whole room is sideways. So as you walk in, you end up walking on the wall, and all of the like basins and stuff are just stuck to the floor. So that it's like almost like they're nailed down on your version of the wall.
Whew.
As we enter the
I was
room,
just getting used to the gravity in this place too. Okay.
Everard's gonna reorient himself a little bit. He says, look, Monsieur Mace, this is how these things go down. We are merely looking for a friend, and we're looking for another individual, Dwarf, and we don't particularly want any trouble. So, if you let us find who we're looking for, and we leave, things are simple. However, if you insist on doing things such as eating us and our friends and anybody else who wanders in here, I'm afraid the options for how this ends become a little uncomfortable for the both of us.
Do two things for me, Wally. Make an intimidation check, and also roll me a d6.
Hell yeah, intimidation. Let's go.
I have
Cool.
another.
17 plus 6, 23.
Woo.
For the intimidation?
Yes.
Okay. And roll,
And then
roll your... You know what? Don't even bother rolling a d6. On a 23, the d6 is about who you might find. Who do you want to end up in this room with you? Do you want Ingrid, or do you want one of the people who's missing?
Missing people. Missing people.
Missing people? Okay, yeah. I guess he will. We'll go for Orin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
If it is a
watch
missing
as the other wall / now ceiling on the other side, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, orifices open,
Okay.
and you hear a gruff sound, whoa, as a Durgar just falls through the room, hits a basin on the way down, and then tumbles down to the floor.
Ooh.
Scrambling up, you see Orin. You see the bald-headed, white-bearded, looks a little bit worse for wear. Not like, not on the edge of death, not like dangerous, not necessarily being a hospital, but you're like, no, that guy hasn't slept in a day. Like, that guy could use like a hot bath and probably a nice nap. He scrambles up and he looks like wildly at the three of you. This is the first people he's seeing at all, let alone three people. And he has no weapon, but he just kind of puts his hand up and he says, "Stay back, stay back."
Whoa, easy there, sir. Your grandmother, you
are you the house?
No. Well, I would certainly hope not.
It goes
That's
by
what the house would
maze.
say.
It goes by
yeah.
maze, actually.
It certainly feels like a maze.
Your
Although you're
grandmother,
talking.
Eula, she's very worried about you. She was handing out flyers, and you know how people are in Sigil. Nobody was stopping, so of course I wanted to check. And we got this very fetching flyer with your face on it. She's pretty good at the likenesses, I tell you.
You look at it. It's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah,
She got the
wow.
nose a little wrong.
Okay.
But
Oh, well,
it's
you know, they
not
just
bad,
can't get your
actually.
nose right, but trust me, but I feel that one.
Exactly. Your mention of Eula, immediately he drops his suspicion. Oh, thank God. He gets up and just goes up to Bileyg and gives a hug.
Oh, yeah,
my
of
goodness.
course.
How long have I been in here?
About
A week?
2 days,
2
seems like.
weeks?
Oh,
Oh.
not that
gods.
long, thankfully.
Oh, God. It's 2 days. You see, he's just bad. He's like, it feels
He's
like
having a
long
rough
time.
day. That is just
He's
big
not
pat
having a
on the
time
shoulder.
dilation. He doesn't
That-
look like he's 2 weeks in here. He's just having like a... It's just
yeah.
bad for him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have an
All right.
idea.
That's all right, but that's all right.
You don't-
We're gonna find our way out of here.
Do you know how to get out?
When Orin walks in, Evrard's going to put his hand on the wall and he says, "Merci. This was very simple."
Did that feel any more filling than usual? Having all of us clustered here together? I just sort of had a thought that perhaps if you were to digest us all while in the same place, it would be a more filling meal than if you were to digest us in separate rooms.
You know what, Orin? Don't listen to them. They're just spitballing ideas. It's nothing to worry about.
He goes digest. And then, Oobtaglor, make me another persuasion check. I don't think it's at advantage. It's still kind of a stretch, but because you have a rapport, I'll let you roll it all.
Natural 18 plus 8, 26. I love this.
The charisma in this party is insane.
It was you.
It's always
There's
all the time, baby.
There's a rumbling as... I'm going to count that as your final success.
Hey.
There's a rumbling, not unlike a stomach rumbling, and Bileyg, that thing that you'd almost caught a glimpse of before on the walls, suddenly becomes apparent to you. You see, like, red writing, little script start to form and go all along the walls. Like, the walls have this, like, tiny, minute writing in it. And before it wasn't super noticeable, it wasn't that deep, but now it becomes a little more pronounced and it starts to light up red in some places, almost like it's being like you what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you're doing the read-along things and the text like goes yellow as
sure.
you're reading to help you focus on it, like the reading assist. There's a word for it, but like that, it's kind of happening in different places. And you hear all together. It's almost time anyway. All right. And you guys you start to descend like you're in an elevator, except that instead of a clean circle going down, it's like a piece of elastic being stretched. The room around you starts to taper down, and you all start to get like pushed in closer together.
Oh, I'm not fond of this experience.
Neither is Orin. He like starts to freak out a little bit.
Easy.
The
Oobtaglor will make room.
the like walls start to push in as you get lower and lower. Ingrid, you are walking down the hallway, and you watch as an eye opens up, and then a mouth opens up, and a tongue just extends, wraps around you, and pulls you through.
Gross. Absolutely
You
disgusting.
Why
get
did you give it
pulled-
ideas?
You get pulled through the wall and spit out onto the floor of another room that I will show you guys.
Hey,
The
it's
rest
a
of
digest.
you, the floor
It's a digest, not
drops
me.
open.
This was an idea it already
the floor,
had.
the floor drops open, and you all plummet down, and you find yourselves back to this archway where stairs just spiral endlessly up in this crypt here at the bottom. These pillars holding up the entire building. eyes now watching you, and across the room you see kneeling at an altar in the form of a enormous bovine head, the black wax candles dripping down everywhere. You see that there is a man in robes kneeling, arms spread, praying. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm glad to see everyone caught up. We've been eating,
Oh,
right?
Ingrid,
Yes,
there
you guys
you
all
are.
now see each other.
This is everyone.
Also entering the room, you see a extremely unconscious mechanite. It tumbles down through an
it's
opening that
Katie.
appears in the wall.
And a blink
And
dog.
the blink dog.
This is
And
Katie.
the blink dog also emerges from
Finnegan.
the floor, bubbles up like a bubble emerging, pops, and
Yep.
this terrified dog is just haunted mansion style, like Scooby-Doo, legs shaking, looking around.
Oh, buddy.
Ooh, what would I like to do? First things first, I would like to pour 1 point of healing hands into the mechanite, just to get them back up.
Gotcha.
Or lay on hands.
Tea.
You go over, place a hand on, and do one lay on hands. You watch as they've clearly been in here longer, but also by the nature of being a mechanite, they're a little bit more resistant to this.
Right.
You watch as their eyes dilate open in that cool, like, circular iris pattern.
Aperture, yeah.
Yeah, aperture, exactly. And they don't breathe or anything, but there's definitely, like, a sense of, like, movement comes back to their body.
Yeah.
What would anyone else like to do?
I'd like to march right up to whoever's at that altar and tap them on the shoulder.
Ingrid.
Oobtaglor was going to do the same, in fairness.
Well, I
All right.
have never
You
been so disgusted in my life.
As you two approach, you hear the mutterings that are coming from him. Does anyone speak Abyssal?
No.
Common, deep
The language of
speech,
demons.
Elvish, Sylvan, Undercommon. No Abyssal.
Nope.
Nope, common and halfling only.
Common, elvish, infernal, thieves can't.
Primordial and common.
You approach, and as he's chanting, he kind of looks over his shoulder, and then he speaks aloud, presumably to the building maze, as you now call it. He says, "I don't know why you've brought them here, but it's almost complete. Just hold them off a little longer. I'd like everyone to please roll me initiative."
Yes,
There we
yes.
go.
We all
Okay.
want to go
Here
roll
we
initiative.
go.
Everyone can place themselves in the room. If you are Oobtaglor or Ingrid, you could be much closer to the acolyte over here.
I'm noticing there's like light on the bottom wall spilling out.
That is to demonstrate that there is a staircase up over there.
Ah,
I
okay.
see. Okay.
So there's archway with a staircase up. All the other bits of light are the black candles.
Gotcha. Oh yes, so they are.
Oh, all right. So we have a down at the bottom. Bileyg rolled a 4.
Yeah, like rolled a 5 and it adjusts down to a 4.
Oh, I'm so
Oobtaglor
sorry.
coming in with an 8. Ingrid coming in with a 13.
Yes.
And with a natural 20 plus 4, Evrard coming in with a 24.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
And the acolyte coming in with an 18.
Ugh.
So, Evrard, seeing that things are about to go south, as the chanting continues, as the acolyte asks for the house to deal with you, I would like for you, please, to tell me what you do. You have the initiative here.
I will, I kind of don't really want to kill anybody here.
You don't
But,
want to kill the spooky guy at the altar who just told the house to eat us?
Well, yeah. But
there's still
he
that
seems
dog.
to be feeding the house. That's my
This is-
intuition. Like they have a mutual agreement. Okay, either way, we'll come up with a new deal. Let's deal with the cultists first.
This is why I said don't pack bond with the house that wants to eat us.
On guard, monsieur. And I will bonus action Hunter's Mark on the cultist. And I will give him a quick little poke with the rapier.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the guy feeding people to the murder house, we can
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
stab with impunity. The murder house itself may just be a neutral entity that simply follows its nature.
Yes. That is an 18 to hit.
Okay. What are you attacking with?
My rapier.
Okay, so you get up at close in melee.
Yes, I move into
Yeah,
melee.
certainly. You bound over. As everyone else is walking, you sense things about to get much worse, and immediately rabbit speed bound over, and 18 definitely hits.
Okay. Cool. This is a D8 plus a D4 plus a D6. D4 from Dreadful Strikes, D6 from Hunter's Mark.
Terrible. That's a tremendous amount of damage about to come in.
Oh yeah. That is 16 points of piercing damage.
Oof. Okay.
Technically 15, one sidekick.
All right. Yeah, the psychic is not an issue, so don't worry.
Okay,
You
cool.
come in with the rapier, fast, stab him. He swears under his breath, but he is not deterred. Could I have everyone please? Oh, is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that's all I got. That's action, bonus action, move.
All right. I'd like everyone to please make me a strength saving throw.
Oh boy.
Interesting. Okay.
Hold on, let me see.
That's a
Do I have
6
that?
total.
Okay. Fail.
An 8 minus
Fail by
2.
5 or more, actually.
Okay.
Sheesh.
8.
8. That's a fail, and by more than 5.
Natural 20, so 21.
Okay, that's a success.
Rolling.
Yay.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Just one
And that's
die,
a
man.
14 plus 2 because the ranger is proficient in strength saves, so 16 total.
16 will succeed. So, you two are not restrained as the dungeon reaches out to grab you. You watch as
Is
fleshy
this
protrusions.
a grapple check?
Ooh.
It is interestingly, specifically not a grapple check, although it is very similar.
Okay.
It is
All
for
right.
you. It's restrained actually. There's a
like a
reason it's
full
not a grapple
bubble.
check. It's because it has multiple things for failure. You guys failed by more than 5, so Oobtaglor and Ingrid, you are both restrained.
Great. I love
Which
that.
your speed until initiative count 20 of the next turn, which means that not only is your speed 0, but your attack rolls have disadvantage and attacks against you have advantage.
Okay.
That's bad.
Oh man,
Yes,
we're right
indeed.
here too.
That will bring us to the acolyte's turn.
Oh, that wasn't even his turn.
Nope, that was the. Come on, just gotta get rid of this circle now. This is an annoying thing where I didn't want to. I'll have to make a different token because I didn't want to spoil what the token looks like. As he gets to his turn, he will use his action to complete the ritual. He was one success behind having it already completed, so he only needed
beans.
one more action
Of
to do
course
it.
he did, yeah.
You hear he finishes his abyssal. He gets stabbed by Evrard and then finishes his abyssal and then speaks in common this final phrase: "Horned King, remove the veil of deception and guide us to the knowledge that we are truly lost, that we are but feral beasts fleeing from our own mortality." As he says that, he transforms into a vision of terror. He grows, fur sprouting from his upper body, horns sprouting from his head, as he becomes a minotaur, but unlike any other you've seen,
Great.
stands a head above the rest, blazing red eyes. This avatar of Baphomet stands before you.
Oh.
It's never anything normal, is it?
That's never.
You're telling me this isn't normal for Sigil?
Well, you got me there.
That brings us to Ingrid. Ingrid, what would you like to do?
I would like to... I'm going to attempt to cast Tosha's Hideous Laughter on the Minotaur situation. It's a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw in this particular instance. I think it would behoove you to chill out. Huh?
Terrible.
That was, I was, honestly, actually, I kind of felt like it was alright. That was, I don't wanna,
I'm
I don't want to be
improvised.
that
wasn't too
guy.
bad.
You don't
I don't
want
want
to
to
be
be
that
that
guy.
guy. But Tash's hideous
Yes.
laughter is somatic, and I.
Being restrained doesn't prevent you from doing somatic.
Yeah.
Your
I mean, if you can
attack rolls have
attack, you can
disadvantage.
probably move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you
all
can
right.
still move your
Just wanted to
hands.
make sure.
Yeah.
It is a 14.
Did we determine that we could silvery barbs the same turn that we could, because it's a reaction?
Yeah. So again, it's not that. Yeah, you can silvery barbs. Your silvery barbs.
Silvery
You can
barbs.
silvery barbs on your own turn. Yes.
Yes. Please fail, silvery barbs.
Please clap.
All right, I will attempt a second time. That is wisdom. That's a 13.
Damn it! It's wisdom 20c12.
Bees.
Sorry, friends. Is there a half damage on that save?
It's not damage. You would just fall into a fit of laughter and become incapacitated.
It's pretty powerful.
I see.
Yeah.
That is pretty powerful.
Alas.
All right. So do you have any bonus actions you'd like to do?
Oobtaglor, this one's for you, and I'm gonna give you some inspiration.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Why, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you can give somebody advantage with your silvery barbs.
Yes, I'm giving
on
it to
their next roll as well.
myself. I'm giving
Okay.
myself advantage, but I'm giving Oobtaglor inspiration. Oobtaglor, Oobtaglor, please get yourself up off of the floor. Oobtaglor, Oobtaglor, give that guy what for? And you have inspiration.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
There we go.
Thank you.
Woo woo. Encore.
No,
I feel
I'd
remiss.
really
I don't
rather
think.
not.
Did you do? I don't know that you. You didn't do a song last session, right?
I
If
didn't
I'm
have a
remembering
reason
correctly?
to do a song last session.
Gotcha. Well, it is your first one, so I want to reward. I would be remiss if I didn't give you the same reward I gave to Noir. So go ahead and take a DM inspiration for such a
Go.
well-performed inspiration.
Thanks.
All right, and with that, we will come up to Oobtaglor. Oobtaglor, brr.
okay.
Dazzle us.
I'm going to shower Evrard with gifts. I will hold my action, and I'm just going to say, "Hey, psst, Evrard, over here." And I just kind of like try and gesture to me because I can't move.
We miss Oob?
And I'm gonna hold protection from evil and good.
Good one. Nice.
And I'll cast it on Evrard when he comes to me. But
Okay.
but
So
I will
you are
also
currently concentrating on that spell. It's also holding your reaction.
Yes. I will also inspire Evrard as no loot, because I'm really leaning into the whole restrained aspect of it. But I will sing out, I really would like you to put them in the dirt.
I was trying to
I'll
figure
give
out
you
a little shop song.
inspiration if you'll give them the heart. I'm asking politely, but with no subtleties. Oh, please break some knees.
Very weird day for this Minotaur.
Did you have that already prepared, and did you make that up when you were inside of a house that was trying to eat you? I mean, it's not exactly like
No,
Bull Shop,
I
but-
have these prepared. I don't have Sophia's gift.
I'm
of
winging it,
of
and Noir
improvisation.
actually
Yeah.
can sing. So if we could if we could be one person, we'd be the
That was
ultimate bard.
very impressive.
Yeah, fucking Dragon Ball
That was
Fusion
very
dance.
impressive. All right,
Thanks.
take an inspiration, Evrard, which brings us
should-
to you, I believe. Yep.
I should also say, because I didn't say this last time, my inspiration
yes.
looks a little bit different. You see that a little globule of myself extracts itself from me and begins hovering and circling around Evrard. And if you were to sort of focus on it, it changes form to from a music note to a little starburst, to just kind of these weird shapes. And if Evrard decides to use that inspiration, we'll see what effects that has.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Very cool.
All right, that brings us to Bileyg.
Oh boy. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Perfect. All right. For my action, I'm gonna pull out my little locket and I'm going to channel divinity, turn the unholy. As an action, you can censure fiends and undead. Each fiend or undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw DC 13. On a failure, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. So, by my count, that is the Minotaur and the house.
Yes. Okay, so the house is technically a monstrosity creature type, but having been blessed by Baphomet, he is fiendish. So this is going to work on the Minotaur. Turned means what?
Turned, sorry, did you say, is it going to work on the house and the Minotaur? I was confused
It's
by
not
that.
going to work on the house. The house has, like, abyssal nonsense going on, but its creature type is monstrosity. That's not going to
Well, that's a
change
mild
it.
shame.
This guy's creature type, however, has become fiend.
Okay, if the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can use only the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If there is nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action.
Gotcha. So basically, he has to get away from you.
He has to
Yes.
get away from me, and he can't use his actions for anything but getting away from me for a while.
Gotcha. And does he get to save again on his turn, or it's only when he takes damage?
Only when he takes damage. Did he fail, or has he not rolled yet?
I haven't rolled yet, but I'm just...
Okay.
Interesting.
I was like,
all right, so
please,
it's a
come
wisdom.
on.
This is really important. So let's
the whole
roll
action.
1.
I can only do it once a
20
short rest.
Plus, he only has a +1 to these, believe it or not.
Oh boy.
For wisdom saving throw. So here we go. I'll roll. Roll. I'll roll this in front of the group. Here we go.
No.
That is a 14.
Sheesh.
Sorry, Red.
Anyone? Great. Well, I tried.
Slots. Apologies.
Well,
You
all right.
reach out with your energy, and you guys watch as golden light passes from Bileyg out into the room, and there is a definite shudder from this acolyte, and you watch as all the candles go low. Like, there is the oppressive force of divinity in this room, but unfortunately he is not turned.
Great. All right. Well, my turn was useless, but it's over now.
Sorry, you'll get another turn coming up. All right, Evrard, coming back to you on initiative.
He will raise his rapier, and he will turn to the Minotaur and says, Je suis très désolé. They asked me to, what was it, break your kneecaps? So, 1 second. And then he'll take one step to the side.
Yeah. So I give you protection against evil and good, which sorry, I gotta read this out. Certain protection against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. So not monstrosities, but fiends, I'm hoping, is the Minotaur, right?
Yep, he is fiendish.
Okay.
Most
Cool.
Minotaurs are
They have
typically monstrosities, but I have decided this one is fiendish because of his unique blessing.
Gotcha. Those creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target, so you have advantage on attack rolls.
Oh, hell yeah.
You have advantage on attack rolls. Wow, I didn't realize that protection for good and evil gave you advantage on attack rolls too.
Huge if true.
Hell. So, he will turn to Oobtaglor, and he said,
It doesn't have advantage when you're attacking them. I'm sorry. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, you have advantage on new saving throws, but it doesn't give you advantage to attack. I'm sorry, it was a real teacher. Do we have homework? But I also have this spell.
It's still important.
I said it like that because I wasn't sure, and I'm glad that someone checked on it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally misread this.
Yeah, so they
Which is
have
weird
disadvantage
because I
to
had
attack
this
you, but you're rolling neutral.
okay.
Yeah.
He will turn to Oobtaglor and says, Merci, Monsieur Oobtaglor. Now, I must break some kneecaps, and I will use my bonus action to rabbit hop above him to get to the other side.
You land up on this altar.
Yes.
Very cool.
And then I guess, and I will hit, and I will roll to hit. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay, roll to hit.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna hit. That's 11.
Maybe he's
11
really
is
squishy
not going to hit, but you do have an inspiration from.
I will use my bardic
from
inspiration.
You're
I
welcome.
will pluck it from the air and try to, I guess, try to will it to become a flower to put it behind his ear.
Nice.
But I guess
it complies.
Okay.
All right, let me.
All right, yeah. Roll that bardic inspiration.
Okay.
D6.
It's 3, total of 14.
14 will hit.
Oh, snap. Okay, I'll take it.
Nice.
And
All
then
right, so
something
you have
Guys, level
activated.
3.
You have activated the mode of potential. You're using it on an attack roll, right?
Correct.
The target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die.
Ooh.
Okay.
So that's against your DC. So I'll do that roll real quick. Noir, what's your bard save DC?
14.
14. All right, this guy is really good at Well, that's Constitution. That is a 23, sadly.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So no thunder damage, but you do hit. So go ahead and deal your other damage.
All right. This is a D8
That's a very
to
cool effect. The
64.
creation bard is really quite something.
They're neat.
Sheesh.
Trying to
Okay,
wrap
not
my
Way
a
head
whole
better
lot
than
of damage.
Sophia's stinky bard, am I right?
Well, I don't have a bardic subclass, so let's not be assholes about it.
That will be 7 piercing and 4 psychic for a total of 11. Not great on the
All right,
dice this time around.
You've dealt 27 points of damage already to this thing, Wally. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, low-level rangers can hit. It's nice.
Low level rangers can hit. You come in and another stab. He cries out, and is that going to end your turn?
Yeah, that was action. Bonus action movement. Kneecap's not quite broken, but I'll take it.
All right, it is Maze's lair action. So Maze is going to spray caustic liquid from its stomach contents at each of you. I'd like every one of you to please make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
buddy.
buddy.
Hell
Something
yeah.
I'm okay at.
Dex save.
Oh, does being restrained affect this at all?
Cool, okay.
Your restrained is gone as of initiative count 20. So
Fantastic.
when
Then
this
it doesn't
effect
matter.
happens, the restraint goes away.
That is a 18.
That's a save, so no damage.
13.
13 is a fail. You're going to take some damage.
Yep.
19.
Both saves, so only one person is going to take any damage. Sorry, Bileyg.
Great. It's going great for me the last 6 seconds.
You take 15 points of acid damage.
Oh my god. Okay, cool.
You watch as a spray of acid. Most of you guys, it's really telegraphed, so most of you who are extremely nimble are able to get out of the way. Oobtaglor, this is nothing for you. You just split your body in half and it goes right past you. But heavy armor makes it very difficult to dodge, so even though it takes some of the blow, the burning still gets through Bileyg. And it is now the acolyte's turn. He is really penned in, and he doesn't want to take an attack of opportunity, so he's going to hit twice with both attacks against Evrard, since he's dealing the damage, but he's going to be rolling at disadvantage because of the protection from evil and good.
Hell yeah.
So
That
here
might
we go.
save my little bunny tail.
It's very well made.
One from a fist. Here we go. At disadvantage, that's quite bad. That's under 10.
Okay, yeah.
Damn shame that was the 5 feet he needed to get out of attack of opportunity range because it moves you. And now from the horn. Oh god, it's a natural 1 at disadvantage. You watch as both times he goes to swing the fist and then he goes to gore you, and both times he winces with pain. There's a flash of what does it look like when the spell is proccing from Oobtaglor? What does the spell look like when it's like protecting?
It looks like a little. It looks like a little like slimy sheen of like the same kind of iridescent color that Oobtaglor is over Evrard, and so he takes on a kind of slimy quality.
Horns and Fist glance off of this slimy protection, and you just end up like basically standing up on top of Horns. Like you jump up on the Horns on this mantle and then back off as he rears back, just unable to get you. Not a very useful turn.
Wonder what that feels like.
Oh, I forgot that he has a reaction because I'm a dumb idiot. All right, that's on me. Ingrid, it is your turn. You are no longer restrained.
Great. I'm moving.
Oh, also, he has Minotaur senses. He always knows which way is north. Damn it! How could I have forgotten that? Oh,
that's so important for this.
stupid.
Ingrid,
Hold on, I gotta rotate the map.
Ingrid's gonna dust herself off a little bit and then sidestep 5, 10, 15, right into position around this Minotaur, and I'm going to attack. And because I have advantage from silvery barbs sticking around, I'm gonna go ahead and get some sneak attack on this, assuming it hits. Which, luckily, I have advantage, or else that would have been a very big assumption. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
Great. So that's going to be a d6 plus d4 plus 3. 11. 11 points of stabbing. Well, I forgot about, because I'm reading my character sheet, 2-weapon fighting, and I do have 2 daggers equipped, so I could theoretically be using a bonus action to stab again, but without the ability modifier and no sneak attack, I know.
Yep, you said everything correct. Go for it.
Attack again. Yeah.
So no advantage on this one, though, because you used the silvery barbs
Right.
advantage.
Does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit, so that will just be 1d4, I think.
3 more points of stabbing damage.
There we go.
Yay.
All right. He is now going to use his reaction.
Great.
When a creature the Minotaur can see within 40 feet of them deals damage to the Minotaur,
Wonderful.
the Minotaur can move up to their speed. If the Minotaur ends this movement within 5 feet of that creature, the Minotaur can make a Goring Horns attack against them. So, he is going to push past over here, putting his back against the wall, and when he ends within 5 feet, he will use his reaction to make an attack against you, Ingrid.
Great.
You have no spell and thus no disadvantage. He's going to hit you with the Goring Horn.
Wonderful.
That is a 16 to
That
hit.
will hit.
Okay. That is 9 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
He's still pretty pinned down, though.
Yes. Well, I guess if you want to stab me, it's only fair. Bileyg?
All right, that brings us
I'm on it.
to Oobtaglor.
Okay. How are you, Bileyg?
Oh, not the greatest. If I had to guess, I'd say I'm at about 7 out of 22 total hit points.
We have the
So,
same
you know,
points.
I've been better. I've had better days, I'm not gonna lie.
God, remind me of this. Like, I can cast spells both as an action and a bonus action as long as one of them is a cantrip, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Vicious Mockery.
Yeah. Vicious Mockery action, healing word bonus action, if that's what you're going for.
That's exactly it, yes.
Okay, yeah. So, what do you say to mock viciously? And is it a wisdom save?
It is.
Alright, so I got a plus
what
one
am
of
I-
these.
God. This is why I suck at the fucking improv.
Go on.
He hits... Go.
uh,
He rolls 12, by the way, total.
okay, he fails. Something mocking. I don't even have to think of. I can't even waste the brain space on figuring out an insult. That's how little priority you are to me.
Woo! Make him feel small.
All right.
That's always
an
a good strategy.
offhand cantrip so that you can get your real spell off on the side. All right, what happens with Vicious Mockery?
1d4 psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
2.
So go ahead and roll that 1d4.
2. And then I
Okay.
will cast Healing Word of the second level variety.
Ooh, 2d4 plus your charisma.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very nice.
Okay. So that's 5 plus 4, 9.
Ooh, thank you kindly. Okay.
And I don't know if I want to move. I'm not gonna move. Yeah. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. That brings us to Bileyg.
Alrighty.
This guy's real pinned down.
All right. 5, 10, 15. Flanking. Okay. Yeah. As a tasty little bonus action, I am going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
So I have a +2 bonus to AC, bringing it to 20. Now I'm
Damn,
gonna
that's
hit
really
him.
good.
Yeah, I
Go
was
for
really
it.
hoping that my AC was going to factor into that last attack that I ate and nearly died from. So hopefully the next thing it does has to hit me first. Anyway, I'm going to attack at advantage, and I roll 15 total.
15 hits.
Great, okay. I'm going to use my Divine Smite.
Yeah, you are.
Of course I am.
Absolutely crumple this dude.
I hope so.
Oh no, you didn't fight a fiend. You fought a spider.
No,
I was gonna say,
that's
you
the
haven't
thing. We didn't fight
two fiends
any
in a
of the
row.
fiends.
Yep.
Okay, so my base damage on the sword is 1d8 plus 1. Divine Smite adds 2d8, so that's 3d8 total, plus 1d8 against undead or fiends. So that is 4d8 plus 1 total. I only have 3d8 out, so I'm going to roll them, and then I'm going to re-roll one of them.
I'm not sure I like where this is going, honestly.
That is 19 damage.
Including your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is only plus 1.
Gotcha. Just
Actually,
making
wait, is
sure.
that correct? 6, 12...
I believe it
Yes,
is.
that is correct. Yeah, one of the d8s was a 2, so it wasn't too impressive. But the rest of them were pretty good. So yes, that's 19 total, some of which is radiant.
19 is like minus 20, but plus 1.
Yes. Good job. Okay, yeah, so that's... Yeah.
Radiant, yeah, so there are no damage vulnerabilities, so don't worry
Oh.
about that. It's like
Okay.
Well,
extra
alright
radiant
then.
damage. Fantastic. Okay, you guys watch as... what is this definitively devastating strike? I think that's the biggest chunk of damage that anyone has done to him yet. What does it look like?
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I don't like the brag. Yeah, I think, but like, so Oobtaglor's healing kind of looks like the slime sheen, but as it settled in, it just sort of transformed into Bileyg's, like, sort of soft golden light that turns up whenever he's healing or casting, and of course the Shield of Faith flickers in. So now everything he does leaves a little bit of a shining trail. Like when he moves the sword, it leaves the sword swings in the air, Smash Bros style. And this basically just looked like one of those.
I was just trying to figure out what the word was for where you exploit the. Is it wave dashing in
wave dashing is a
Melee?
thing, but like
Yeah.
you know Ike's side A, it's like that. Just the really satisfying swang.
Boom! There's almost a small detonation, and some of the dust in the air, like a bunch of the dust in the air, is stirred as you hit with that. Extremely shitty for him.
Good.
That brings us. Does that end your turn? I think it does. 'Cause you cast
Yep,
the spell,
that ends
you
my
hit.
turn. That was my
Alright.
action, my bonus action, and my movement.
Evrard.
Come on, buddy.
I looks like we're finishing up here. Let's just
Kick
let's just hit.
his ass.
Here we go. Hit at advantage because I am flanking with Bileyg.
Flanking. Heyo.
Okay, I needed that because I rolled terribly. Okay, a total of 15 here.
15 will hit.
Okay.
This is
D8,
kind of the ideal
D6,
You could
four.
use Shield
formation
of Faith.
for us because Evrard and Bileyg get advantage from the flanking, and Ingrid gets sneak attack by any ally being within 5 feet. So this is sort of like we've stumbled onto the most optimized formation.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got to get out of there, TBH.
And Oobtaglor's just
And
there.
Oobtaglor is at a safe
Oobtaglor is-
distance to not get pummeled.
Look, the CEO doesn't work on the ground floor. You know what I'm saying?
Total of 15 total damage, piercing, psychic.
Heyo.
The shebang.
Ooh, Jesus. 15, okay. He is not looking good. All right, does that end your turn?
Yes, that's just the one attack. I see no reason to go anywhere else.
Okay. He is going. Can't do the same thing twice in a row. Give him the help action. Yeah. It's going to be the lair action. The lair is going to give the help action to the acolyte, and it's going to give him advantage on his next attack roll.
Okay.
He is going to then it becomes his turn. He's going to make his first attack at advantage against Ingrid.
Hello.
Knock her out of the
It's
way.
rolled straight because Vicious Mockery has disadvantage on the attack.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
let's go.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I'm
this is the maul. This
I
is the
just
maul. The
realized
first hit
with
with
all
the
of these-
with the fist.
with this cavalcade of like inspirations and advantages.
Oh.
I'm writing this shit down.
We're synergizing,
Uh-huh.
guys.
You
We're
gotta.
all
Oh, yeah.
playing like Wally
third-
this campaign.
Does a 13 hit you? Sophia?
No, it doesn't.
Haha!
Okay, no, it doesn't. All right. Next will be the goring horns on Sophia.
Great. What are you gonna do?
will
Call
be-
me.
This will be an advantage.
Wait, it is?
No, the help action is only for one.
Oh, okay, never
Yep.
mind then.
So they cancel it out for the first one.
Go away.
And that's just a 14 to hit.
That's my AC.
Oh shit. Okay.
Ooh, I don't know if I can declare. No, I don't think I can declare this.
What's up?
I have an ability called Protection, which is my reaction. When a creature you see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet, you can use a reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. I don't know if I have to declare that before they roll.
So normally yes, because otherwise you could be like, oh, that was a bad roll. I don't need to do advantage.
Right.
I don't need to give disadvantage. But this is a new ability. It's a new character.
New character.
So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and say that that is.
All right.
We'll go ahead and we'll say it this time.
Cool.
And keep in mind going forward when attacks are coming at allies.
Thanks,
Will do.
BB.
That's I rolled a 3.
Let's go.
Okay.
This is the
All right,
most
so,
spry
here's what's
old
up.
woman you've ever
Both of
seen in
those
your
missed.
life.
No, that
We are
last one
going
was
to have
because I
to-
interposed my shield. It was a cool, dramatic moment. You're not just limboing out of the way.
Phew, phew.
We are going to now move. He has to risk getting out of there, which means he has to risk some attacks of opportunity. So, he is going to move like this, and he's going to move thusly, and we'll have to administer attacks of opportunity as they come. So, he's going to move diagonally through. Evrard,
Will
take
hit.
an attack of opportunity there.
Yes. This is still an advantage, right? Because he left from a position.
Yes, you are going to get an advantage hit.
Okay, here we go. Not quite. Okay, 16 to hit.
I mean, that does hit.
We've been hitting on 15s.
Oh, right, yes. I believe I still get my dreadful strike, right? Hold
Double
on.
check, make sure it's.
When you hit a
is it-
creature,
does it say
once
on your
per
turn or once per
turn.
turn?
Once per turn.
So this is a different turn. This is
Yes.
the Minotaur's turn.
Okay, here we go. Big damage. Love it. 12, 13, 18 points of...
18.
Yes.
Hot ziggity.
This might have been the worst decision he ever made.
Hunter's Mark
All
is
right.
putting out nice damage.
Putting in the work.
I attacked you twice. I couldn't do it.
only
Now
fair.
he is going to move down. So that's 5, 10. Belay, you are going to get an attack of opportunity now.
No, I'm
there's
not. I used
no-
my reaction to save Ingrid from that last hit.
You are right. Fantastic. And then
Yeah.
one
Sorry,
more.
teacher. We
Ingrid,
did have
you
homework.
can take attack of opportunity.
Yes.
However, there are no allies, and you don't have advantage, I think, which means it is not going to be sneak attack.
That's okay. I'm gonna stab at his tendons.
Ooh.
It's a natty 20.
Woo!
Oh,
go.
Jesus fuck.
I mean, it's a dagger. It's 1d4 plus 3.
Yeah, but now it's 1d4 plus 7.
7.
Yeah, 1d4 plus 3 plus 7, right? No.
Does the strength bonus, or does the bonus stack twice?
No, just the die.
Just the
Right.
Never mind.
So it's
Just the
1d4
die,
plus
so
7.
it's 1d4 plus 7.
Cool. 7 plus 3 is 10.
10.
10 points of stabby stab damage. Take that,
Finish
you
him.
tendons. Ingrid, I think
him?
literally, as he's going by, he's like, you
Yeah.
ass! And like, right in the back of the calf, like, at Ingrid height.
Boom. You watch as he lets out the shriek of a bull and goes down. You Achilles heel to this Minotaur. He begins to just vomit up black ichor
Oh, no.
and
Ugh.
slowly turns into a pile of black sludge on the ground. Which is what demons do when they die.
Did he die, or did he
Demon
return to his
ichor.
home plane?
Guys, we can break the
Oh, when
bounds
they
of the
return to their home, when they are
planescape.
killed
We
and
can-
return to their home.
okay.
We can fuel a spelljammer to bust through the abyss, guys.
Wow, finally.
Huh.
I can't believe I forgot that reaction. That might have done things differently.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have defeated the acolyte. As he dies, the candles all go out and then slowly come back on with a slightly less menacing aura.
Hello, house. You still want to
Maze.
eat us? House?
There's kind of no answer for you. You don't really have a rapport with Maze at
House?
this point.
Okay, well, you potentially
Well,
antagonize the thing that still has us in the
Perhaps
bellies.
call it by its actual name. Maze, are you still going to eat us? Do you wish to
The
digest?
house had a name.
Try talking with it every once
All
in a
right,
while.
roll call. Who in this room still needs healing? Everyone gather around.
Oobtaglor unscathed again.
Evrard didn't go down this time. Let's go.
Yeah.
I've got 13 out of 22 hit points, which is actually not terrible for me, so someone else first.
All right.
All right. Whatever you'd like to tend to.
See if I can coax the
Oobtaglor,
blink dog
you
to like me.
consult Maze, and you hear Maze say, "Yeah, I was eating people before. Keep eating people now, even without the man."
Was... well... Could I intuit that Ingrid was, like, charmed to go inside, or... Is that,
How
like,
highly do you
outside
think of
my-
Ingrid? Do you think that she's a babbling old woman who would wander into a random house, or do you think that she had to be charmed to walk in off the street? to
No,
this suspicious
legitimately no. Like,
house?
Oobtaglor
Well, I guess-
does respect Ingrid.
I think the more pertinent question is, did the house charm Ingrid, or did the man charm Ingrid?
That's basically my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I won't be able to
Right.
ask that if I didn't know that Ingrid was charmed in the first place, I guess.
I'll leave that up to you, to Noir and Sophia's character decisions on what information they would glean and what information would be shared. If you think it's reasonable, then I think it's reasonable. But that kind of sounds like it's up to you guys, not me.
I assume you guys all followed me in here for getting my message reasons?
We.
We did, yes. Although we found it a little weird that you just decided to go in without us.
I admit I felt a bit compelled myself, and that's an unusual feeling for an elf. We're not typically the charming type, but whatever this house does, it certainly holds a sway.
Do you have that ability, Maze? Or was that the acolyte that we just killed?
Maze?
Wait, yes.
Him through
The house's name is Maze.
Him through.
Him through...
Him through.
Well, okay, well, we really only have to rescue Orin. And we have... And Katie and the Link dog, of course, but...
Or, if I may speak, I have some things to clean up in my past, and if someone goes looking for me, it would be fortunate if I were to send them to a location that would discard them for me.
I feel like I need to step
So-
in here. Very much on board with not immediately destroying the house that we're in, but I feel like we have to draw the line somewhere as do-gooders, and feeding people to the house is probably over that line.
But
Yeah.
they're not good people.
It's not
Okay.
a good
Not to
house.
mention that Maze is going to try and attract people anyway. Why not be people that we would rather want dead?
I guess the question is, why leave Maze able to attract anyone to be eaten at all?
Because that suggests killing Maze.
Or moving them or something.
You hear a rumbling in the walls, and the room just gets a little bit
Okay,
smaller.
okay. Look,
All right, if there's one thing I've learned about Sigil, it's that we gotta do these problems one at a time, all right? Or we're gonna lose our minds. So for now, if everyone's all right with it, I'm just gonna get all these fine people and dog out up to the street level, and then we can decide what to do with the house, all right?
mean,
Is everyone cool with that?
I'm cool with it. I don't know if it's up to us. It sounds like it's up to the house.
If you go to start, like, just making people leave, the door that goes out just disappears, just becomes wall in front of you.
What do you say,
Maze.
Maze? You let us out, and we'll promise to bring you a feed of people.
I have a feed of people right now.
I'd like to look on the altar that the guy was doing all of his rituals out.
3, 4.
Yeah. Yes, but think about the long term. Would you rather have to... I mean, I don't know. If it were me, I would rather have a feast come to me than have to work for the feast. You know? And
I already
you have to
a
admit...
feast in me.
You have to admit,
Yes,
it was a lot of work.
Monsieur Maze, but you forget that we can still kill you ourselves.
You forget. And then the walls get a little bit closer.
Is there anything
were
on that
inside
altar
me.
that the guy was doing all of his ritual stuff
Make
on?
an investigation or religion check.
Investigation, for sure. actually, I'm not bad at religion. I'm just not great at it either. That's a 16.
16. I mean, there's the melted candles, there's abyssal inscription, and there's a lot of iconography here that you know, might be able to place as definitely places demonic. Is there something specific you're looking for?
Anything that seems like it might have been used in controlling or guiding the house, like anything that's related to the house's enchantment or creature status.
No. So with that investigation and then your general high intelligence, I think it's clear to you that you look around, you're hoping to find some sort of like brand or like magic totem or something like that that is controlling the house, and there just isn't. And with your high intelligence, I think it's reasonable to guess like this guy just made a deal. I'll feed you and I'll use you.
Okay, secondary question. Second divine sense of the long rest. Any important house organs anywhere around here? Like a heart, perhaps?
So, you use a divine sense.
I use a divine sense.
It doesn't get you information like that. There's no obvious, like, weak spot, but the unhallow is gone. You're now standing in simply a big creature, not a big cursed creature.
Great.
Ingrid will sort of, like, lean over to her crew. An idea I had while I was wandering in the house alone was that if we could make it throw us up, then we would not be in the house anymore. And I don't necessarily know exactly how we do that, but if there is any way that anyone knows to make us less appetizing, now is the time to mention it.
Well, I was trying to do that now. By suggesting by suggesting a steady stream of food in the long term rather than just one really good feast now.
I guess I'm proposing.
I mean, did you really suggest that? You were like, you said that. That is a decent suggestion. What is your explanation for that? Besides just saying like, oh, we'll find you people.
Oobtaglor is like on board with Lepan's idea of feeding May's like unsavory people, basically. And
if we need them to disappear, where else will we put them?
And so the details would have to be the details will be worked out later, but like they were just imagining that like we'll just feed them people at some unspecified rate so as to like, you know, keep it satiated.
Okay, so that is a great idea. That is the exact kind of thing that this guy was kind of offering and might be convincing. Lepan, not that many people are coming after you on a daily basis.
No.
So if you're gonna keep this,
Maze doesn't have to know
check.
that.
It's gonna be a deception check from Lepan, who is clearly doesn't think he's gonna be feeding that many people to Maze. So right off the bat, if you suggested that, I'd like you to make a deception check on that.
Sure.
Would you consider this a help on
Too many
my
names. Sorry, what's up?
Would you consider this a help on my end?
Oh, that's a good question. Is it a help on your end? You know what? I'd say retroactively that it is. I'd say that it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have a +8 to this.
You do? Holy
actually,
shit.
Yeah, this is.
I was like
might
the
not be able
Rangers.
I might not be able to.
If you're better at it, or if you're proficient, meaning that you can like assist in some other way, you have some other training that can help.
I am proficient in deception. Yeah.
So there you go. So you can take the help action there.
So
I could be helping on all these persuasion checks. Duh.
As a Fey Wanderer, I have a feature called Otherworldly Glamour. Whenever I make a charisma check, I get a bonus equal to my wisdom modifier, which is +4.
And you know what? Let's give you another bardic inspiration on top of that. You know.
Okay. Here we go. I might need it. Holy shit! I did not roll great. That's a 16 plus 6.
22.
A d6 plus a d6.
Let me read what the mode of potential does. This is an ability check.
Yes.
You basically have advantage essentially on the bardic inspiration die, not the d20 but the d6.
Perfect. Okay.
Ooh, that's very cool. So so roll that d6 and roll twice and take the higher.
I needed it. I rolled a 1 and a 6.
All right, so that is 22.
Okay, so it's 22?
Yes.
All right. This creature is going to insight you.
Okay.
It rolls with a +1. So it needs, on a natural 20, I will still call it a success, but it
Okay,
needs a natural
sure.
20. I'm going to roll in front of you guys right now. So yeah, with a 22, it needs a natural 20.
Whew.
That's good, but it's not a natural 20.
Ooh.
You feel a slight lessening of the chamber. Actually, since this was a little bit retroactive, I'd like you guys to play out this scene for me, doubling down on your offer. Lapin, what do you say? Followed by Oobtaglor, what do you say to help and grease this, grease the wheels here, give this, help this deal along?
Okay, Evrard will say, House, Maze, mon ami, we are now friends. I am Evrard Vespien, but in my line of work, I'm merely known as Lapin. Plenty of my, not necessarily associates, but rivals, have sought to dispatch me of sorts, and I'm currently in the business of turning over a new leaf. But my past will follow me, and if I need to get rid of some of these past ties, I will merely send them your way. Your previous agreement with and he points to the pile of slime on the ground, ended very unfortunately, but we can merely start that up again between me and you, mon ami.
All right. And then Oobtaglor? I think you said, so Oobtaglor, you come in here with the help action because I think that you can still sense there's a very loose commitment here. You're like, if people bother me, I'll send them this way. You need to, you could tell there's a hook because it's one meal now versus many meals down the line, but you need to hook, you need to convince, put the period on the end of this sentence, you know?
Maze, I don't think you are quite grasping the full potential of it. You no longer have to work for your food anymore. For as long as our deal remains, which, knowing Lapin, this will last a long time, his string of enemies, so.
Fantastic. You hear a rumble, the walls loosen a little bit, and you hear, in your minds, can I at least keep the dog?
Absolutely
No.
not.
The dog is a deal breaker, no.
The walls begin to loosen and rumble, and you hear, this is what it says, and I'll tell you what it means, just so that there's not any, just so that we're clear.
Yeah.
You hear it says, 1 meal a week. See you then. And the door opens and you see full daylight streaming in through the staircase that is now leading up to the street. When it says 1 meal a week, you think, Oobtaglor, you know this thing pretty well, you're thinking you could probably get by if you're like, I think if we send the occasional person and then bring maybe a pig or something, that'll do.
Oh, okay. We just buy a pig so we have a pig tax now, guys.
Oh.
As we
You're like, I think you could probably handle that.
All right.
But
I
yeah,
have a
there's
pet
definitely
to
the
feed.
sense, this thing is a somewhat malevolent force though, and it is, it does know you, and you've now made a deal with it, so you are going to have to make good at least somewhat, or it's going to get suspicious. But
Noir versus
time
trying
being-
to make deals with powerful entities.
Shut up.
Speedrun
Housewarlock,
Failure Challenge,
Housewarlock.
Episode
Alright.
2, Campaign 2.
close my monster book open to the page bigger mimics.
Yup.
That's awesome. That's so
Damn.
cool.
Now that we're outside and not being eaten, we're not actually going to be feeding people to that thing, are we? We're not going to, tell some clerics there's a monster to deal with and then not have to do with the whole feeding people to it thing, or...
Do you think the Lady of Pain would take offense to the fact that it's kind of stealing her torture labyrinth
I
gimmick?
think it's
I
not
just really feel like this
divine,
is
so it's probably
Bileyg?
okay.
Oh, yes?
We did not sign.
Actually, I'm going to have you roll. You think that you're a mimic this big in Sigil being a maze, you're like, I don't think that's coincidence. Like, I think a mimic replicates its environment to most convincingly lure in prey.
Uh-huh.
A mimic this big, you've never heard of. None of you guys have ever heard of a mimic this big. So you start to think that maybe that's not coincidence, that this thing is started to turn into a maze. And maybe it's not coincidence that a worshiper of a maze-centered demon found his way here.
Huh. Am I getting the vibe that, like, in, like, a couple hundred years, this thing might be employed by the Lady of Pain, or, like...
I mean, maybe not, but, like, if this thing lives for a couple hundred years, you definitely don't want to end up inside of it. Like,
No, absolutely. I didn't want to end up inside of it today.
It was already extremely powerful, even though it was being kind of juiced by the acolyte.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I certainly am not going to be feeding any people to it. Maybe we could put up a sign. Don't go inside. House is hungry.
I will leave a sign of my own. He will pluck a feather, a flower, from his breast pocket, as where he usually keeps them, and he will that's his sort of call sign as a thief, and he will leave it gently on the lip of the slab that covers the door.
You're kind of leaving your own thieves' cant message on the outside. Okay. All right.
I have one critical question. I forget. Did the Blink Dog have an owner?
It did have a return address on the missing
Blink Dog
flyer.
does have an owner, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are able to help return everyone who is missing. Everyone
Oh.
who was taken and missing is able to get brought home. Orin is brought back, and Eula is super happy. She offers to cook all of you guys traditional dwarven dinner, which, by the way, so Orin and Eula live with, there's like 30 dwarves that live in this building. Like every room here has Durgar living in it, and she makes you stay for dinner basically. It's a lot of like pickled mushrooms and there's like a couple different meats that are like basically sausage meats, like the preserved meats basically, but it's a very classic like Underdark dwarf kind of meal here, and yeah, she basically has you stay, and you are able to return the Mechanite and the dog back to their homes.
Orin, before we go, question for you. We found a and I'll sort of like lower my voice and get closer to him. We found some unusual stone in your desk. Do you perhaps like to place high value wagers, or is this more of a professional investigation?
Oh no, I just thought that was cool. I walk past that wall every day on the way to work, and I thought that one was pretty neat, so I just kind of kicked it with my shoe until it broke off.
I'd like to make an insight check.
Yeah, make an insight
It's a
check.
natural 20.
Yay!
Oh my god.
How many natural 20s
This is just a boy who likes his long walks to work.
Yes.
Hand on the shoulder.
Absolute red herring speed run. We had constructed an entire narrative about this guy. We were so sure.
If I could caution you to be a bit more aware of your surroundings, you do walk through a rather rough area, but never lose that childlike innocence that keeps you going. Drinks?
He smiles, and it's kind of silly to see like this big kind of goofy smile on this like bald, big white beard guy, but such is being a dwarf. Well, with everyone rescued, including people you didn't even know you had to find,
Yeah.
the malevolent man at the heart of these kidnappings dead, and the malevolent monstrosity at the other heart of these kidnappings sated for now. Is there anything else anyone would like to do to finish out this adventure?
I'm just saying, if we tip off the Lady of Pain, I'm pretty sure she'll do something with the mimic that at least makes it more purposeful in its eating.
I do want to circle back to, are we really planning on feeding the giant mimic? Because it does seem like there's nothing stopping it from continuing to lure people in off the streets. And I don't know
Except
that
the deal
I
that we
like
had made.
I suppose we do have a certain degree of leverage. We can check if it's eaten anybody and be like, hey, mysterious disappearances in this neighborhood, no pigs this week.
Yeah, I don't think your bargain said it wasn't allowed to eat other people, that if it could get them. It is
Yeah.
an abandoned building, though, and the charm effect is gone, but...
Oh, okay.
Do we know how to actually get rid of it, though? It's a whole ass building.
I mean,
You could kill it.
it can probably burn down.
Look, for now, it's
It is
convenient.
made of flesh, not wood.
It's convenient that it's
Anything.
there, okay?
I'm not willing to
I
let this
think
one
it's-
go, but I don't have a better solution at the moment. So I guess we can put a pin on it. And Ingrid will go over to the
I
big
mean,
pin board that they
to-
keep in the office and literally put a
Yeah,
thumbtack
yeah.
into
A little post-it that's like
note that just
to
says
deal with later.
mimic question mark.
But remember, underline, feed the mimic, pin it in.
I mean,
We add it to the
what is-
chore wheel on the company
What is
fridge.
a person to a giant living house? You know,
Dinner.
walks on
That's
2
the problem.
feet, featherless. We can feed it some giant plucked chickens every once in a while, you know, and I think it'll be okay.
As the person
I
who's
had
frequently
pigs
had
in
to
mind
finance
specifically.
the giant plucked chickens, I'd rather not continue to finance giant plucked chickens. Whatever, it's not going to be solved today, and frankly, I almost got eaten, so I'd like to go to bed.
I was going to pay for the plucked chickens, like. What
All right,
else do I need
Oobtaglor,
stuff for?
you can keep the mimic house, but remember you have to feed it every week, and you know it's very important for you to learn responsibility.
I'm
all
gonna
right?
end up cleaning up after it.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's not going to be as fun when you're
father.
cleaning up skeletonized pig carcasses every
Make
week,
sure it gets
but you
its
know.
shots.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
that's
it gets
very
on bones and
important.
all.
Refresh
Yeah,
the
keep it
out
indoors.
signs.
Yeah, everyone says that mimics are meant to be free range, but we all know they're much more content indoors in dungeons and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's
It's
devastating
actually
to
really
the environment
unsafe
to let them out.
wander. Yeah, they get
Yeah.
parasites. They devastate the local bird population.
Yeah, they get hit by carriages, trampled by horses. It's terrible. It's a tragedy every time. You really
You guys
got
are
to
just
keep them
preaching to the
indoors.
choir here at this point. Oobtaglor is already on board. Like, they were the
You don't
foremost
understand how
proponents
many
on this.
times I've had the if you want to keep the weird thing you found, you gotta feed it and take care of it and get rid of whatever waste product
Is
it
this Red
excretes.
talking or Bileyg?
This is Bileyg. Do you know how many nephews and nieces I have? All right. Do you know how much weird stuff they find?
I see. Well, I'll be sure to be responsible. What am I if not responsible? Don't answer that.
Okay.
I won't.
All right. It's been a really long day, and I don't want to get eaten again. I think we should all go back home. Make sure it's the right one, though. Check the door.
Yes, well, unfortunately now I'm forced to constantly contend with the reality that literally any building in the city could be eating us.
Wait, Evrard, do you have a home now?
As Monsieur Bileyg, if you have a spare room for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. I can't keep sleeping. And he looks over at the pile of newspapers and carrots in the corner over there.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. It might be a little bit tight, but we both keep odd hours. I'm sure we can avoid being underfoot.
And of course, if there is rent to pay, I will pay.
Oh, there's no trouble at all. You're a guest. It's nothing to worry about.
Don't you live in a studio?
Yeah, but I'm small. It's like a
Well,
humanoid studio.
We are
Lepam, if you
both
promise
smart.
not to tell anyone
Yeah.
where I live, I have several spare bedrooms.
Several.
I can literally condense into a space an inch wide. I don't need a room, yet I have one anyway.
This is crazy. You guys are all offering rooms when you just made friends with a monster house he could live inside of.
But
No,
when you were
I
saying
might
that you
not
have
wake
like
up. What
enemies
do
that are
you- why-
pursuing
I
you,
can't
I was
s-
wondering.
Why would I fall asleep
You
inside
can
a
just live
monster
there.
house?
Mimic mouth, good and soft for baby. Put baby inside mouth.
That's like the equivalent of like if you ate 2 grapes, you can like selectively choose to eat one grape in your mouth and then not the other, right? Like
Yeah,
And
but I
then you're
wouldn't wanna
still
be the other
hungry,
grape
so
either.
you eat the other one.
In any
anyway,
case.
you have your pick apparently.
Yeah, there's space.
If anything, I do not like staying in one place for too long, so
Oh, good. So we'll all just make up cots.
perfect.
Alright, perfect.
He goes to
Yeah.
the corner, he starts grabbing the carrots, and
Perfect.
yeah, he heads out.
Yeah. Amazing.
And with that, we will close this mystery. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you again next week for another adventure of Open and Shut Investigations.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode in Open and Shut, a Rolling with Difficulty campaign. We'll be back next week with another thrilling adventure and mysterious mystery. Can I say that twice? But if you miss us before then, you can head on over to the Rolling with Difficulty Discord to have amazing conversations with super cool fans, check out some fan art, talk about this campaign and our previous one, all the one-shots, lots of fun stuff in that community over there. And if you'd like to support the show, we do have a couple ways for you to do that. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble or the currently running plug pin extravaganza, assuming this is one of the first couple episodes. If you'd like to, please rate us and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform or like us on YouTube. And if you really want to support the podcast, you want access to exclusive bonus content, head on over to Patreon, where we post monthly pieces of bonus material from all the members of the cast. It's a great way to directly support the show, and we really, really appreciate everyone over there for helping us put together this lovely little program. So thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next week, and happy adventures out there on the Planescape.